Hello, friends and bees and friends who are also bees, and welcome to this week's briefly binaural what's the word I'm looking for? This week's slightly binaural Indie Thursday stream where we are going to be continuing with Higurashi na... I can't say that out loud. Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 1. Wow, there you go. Sorry, I just got a notification that confused me for a second there. We're going to be continuing with the good old Indie Thursday. And continuing, with what I meant to say was Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 1, Onikakushi. When we left off last week, things had started to become worrisome, but they were still pretty okay. It wasn't all terrible yet, just kind of worrisome. And this week, well, I'm sure things can only get worse. I wish that had been a more smoother transition, but unfortunately, as things are at the moment, I can't do smooth transitions. But with that in mind, I'm sorry, I'm still recovering from Tuesday's 7-hour stream, which I actually put live on YouTube. Not that I expect anyone to watch it. At some point I want to edit that and do like a highlights reel of that. But woof is all I can say. What oof. So let's continue on, shall we? Gonna load end of chapter 4. We want to view new tips, though I'm pretty certain I did see these. Yes, I have seen this. So I've actually looked at all of these. So let's keep going. Straight back into the funky classroom music. How was it, Keiichi? So you went to Rena-san's house. Wasn't it amazing? Last time we had dropped off, we dug out the Burger King himself and dropped him off at Rena's house. It's nothing like that, right? Right? Unlike my house, Ryukyu residence, it wasn't newly constructed, it had been renovated from a pre-existing building. Well, the house itself was fine. The problem was the yard. There, it was crammed with rows upon rows of oddities. They were all the same as Colonel Sanders, stuff you'd see while walking around in town. The cake shop's mascot, Lil Licky. Odd name. The Toad Almond in front of the pharmacy. She even had the amazing flying elephant from the top of the department store. I'll agree with you that those are cute. But why the mailbox? Wouldn't you get in trouble for that one? But so cute. She must have just thought about it, because her face filled with delight. So it's the bigger the better. Just as long as it's big. Wink wonk. And her room displays the smaller ones. I had a chance to see them before. And cute kids like Rika are locked away in the basement. I accidentally clicked out water, I think. Yep, I'll keep anything. It's cute. So she takes anything she likes back to her nest. No ill will intended. Hey, Rena. You know about the Statue of Liberty in New York, right? Is that cute? Yeah, cute. I want it. US should probably come up with some countermeasures ASAP. If not, Statue of Liberty really will take a trip to Hinamizawa in the not-so-distant future. My apologies for keeping you waiting. Rika-chan had returned. No fun being called to the staff room. Did you do something? How rude. Rika isn't a hoodlum like Keiichi. Nothing like that, Keiichi. Rika's a member of the festival committee. festival? A school cultural festival or something? Keiichi, I already told you. It's a village festival, the Onikakushi, wink wonk. Come to think of it, she did say there'd be a festival at the shrine during the next break. So what's this Onikakushi thing about? Is it like a floating lantern festival? I guess the last part where you set things adrift in a river is similar. Except we use cotton things like old worn-out futons and padded cloaks. I'm gonna turn the audio down just a tidge because the music is really loud. It's a festival expressing thanks for their years of service. People living in Hinamazawa dump their furniture and padded cloaks in a stream? It sounds like it'd be a lot of trouble if it backed up the current. Maybe they should just drop some fish in and have a fish wrangling competition. Skew them and sprinkle a little salt. Oh man, I could smell it already. That's just summer camp. I never anticipated how destitute Keiichi's imaginative capabilities would actually be. How could you tell I was thinking something silly? It was written all over your face. Sort of face could have expressed what I'd imagined just now. Rena demonstrated for me. I see, no argument here. It's nothing fun like that, you see, but you should still look forward to it. Let's all go together. I'll come get you that day. I don't really feel like going to festivals unless someone asked me to. I wouldn't get bored if these guys were going. You won't get bored. We're doing it again this year. Mion's proclamation came as she looked at each member in turn. What was this all about? From the way Mion looked, it was probably our club's summer tradition, the Onikakushi 4-demon firefight. I was expecting it that time. That sounds awful. What kind of name is that? I think it's a cute name though. Tried to object sharply, but since Rena looked happy about it, I decided it was pointless to fight it. Since Keiichi is here this year, it becomes 5 demons. Rika made a small correction in light of my presence. I'm waggling my eyebrows. So how does this funky sounding club activity tie into the festival? Oh, this is where you exhibit the skills you've nurtured through your kick-up activities. Exactly. We show the full extent of the abilities that the best of the best have obtained through our daily trials and tribulations. But last year the mayor got angry, so we need to make sure not to cause any problems this time. So basically we're doing club activities while checking out the stalls. Rika really is the only one who explains things so they make sense. I see, so we'll be exhibiting on those busy festival grounds. Rena was right, of course. That would be a reason for the mayor to get angry. But it's lots of fun. That was the only point I did not doubt. It would be, without question, fun. Day of festival was drawing near. Well, putting that aside for now, let's start our club activity today. Any objections? Nay. Our voices rang out in unison. When there's a lot of people, card games are really the easiest to play. This really is the most basic of table games. Playing with a mark deck again? We'll use the new one today. There are no marks on the cards, so we're on equal footing. I wonder if that really is the case. We'll have to inspect them. Well, that was fair. Just to be safe, everyone check the cards. Yes, these seem to be fine. Are you all satisfied? Then today, I guess, we'll play President. That's good for 5 people. Another standard card game. First one to get rid of all their cards wins. Basic rules, play a better card than the one before. You can play straights and pairs. There are various techniques that improve the game, like reversals. But because it's such a well-known game, there are lots of house rules for it as well. The name, for example. In my hometown, we called it Millionaire. I'm gonna light a candle. I'd like to go over some details. Forgive me if you hear clicking sounds from my candle. Are the jokers wild? Can you make reversals with 3 3s? No jokers. Whoa, big wick. I've messed this wick up. 2 is the highest. You can reverse a reversal. You can only make a reversal with a 4 of kind, not a 3. Also, you know how the peasant sends a good card to the president? None of that. While I was confirming the familiar rules, Stoker looked over at me cautiously. Probably should have tried to look like more of an amateur. Pretty used to this game. It's president and it's with a new deck. Today, I might be able to win. I had the gist of the rules for now, but that wasn't everything, was it? So which will today's penalty be? About that, why don't we all write something down on slips of paper and have the loser draw one? Oh, it seemed like it could be interesting. Oh, I'll write a nasty one and have Keiichi draw it. It would be awful if you wrote a bad one and drew it yourself. Just don't lose. Don't you know best? Ho. Mion handed out several slips of paper to everybody. Then write down whatever and put it in this bag. When you lose, stick your hand inside and pick one out. Now then, what would be a good penalty? Worst case scenario, you drew what you wrote. Something too intense would be like digging your own grave. No penalty. Let's forbid that kind of idea from being written down. Rika's casual suggestion caused Mion's hand to lurch to a sudden halt. So sneaky, Mion. She wrote no penalty in the corner of the slip is folded. I see. Just in case you lost, you grabbed the note with the folded corner and you'd be safe. It was a good idea. Diabolical as ever, Mion. Rika's quite formidable too, being able to see through that. Couldn't underestimate her even though she doesn't stand out. I mean, she has bright purple hair, but don't write penalties that are too mean, okay? Nobody agreed to Rena's proposal. Everyone was ruthless. It's fine, Rena. Just don't lose. Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'll try so hard so everyone has to pick the penalty, alright? Rena was quite brutal even though she usually appeared meek. But don't underestimate her either. I agree with that. I'm very curious what Rena's penalty is in particular. Everybody's penalties are scary. I still don't know what Rika's penalties would be like. Basically, you can't afford to lose this game. Everybody here ready? We all nodded determinedly. Hi, Pixie! Thank you, I appreciate it. Have a safe trip home. Say hi to Mel for me. Take care of yourself. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're feeling better. Pixie friend. / flex. We all nodded determinedly. Having confirmed that, Mion dealt out the cards. What's happening is that, I've had some mood and a half. I was so tired when I came home from work today. I was just staring at my computer screen, like, brain dead. Completely out of it. Finally, the battle begins. I had a decent starting hand. Card after card was played in the middle, not needing Mion to tell them. Both Rika and Stoko played their cards without hesitation. Rena and I were the only ones who paused to think, seeing that Rena genuinely couldn't make up her mind. But I was different. I was like a shark stalking a spray, just waiting for the right time to strike. Huh? Will this work? Then I'll play this 3 and I'm out. Yeah. It's the joys of 9 to 5, I suppose, or 9 to 5-ish. Just constant tiredness. 9. Nobody. 8. 7. I'm out. 5 and 5. Yeah. I'm out. I'm 8:30 to 5, but still. Then I'll discard this last one and I'm out. Ah, missed my chance. Loser of the first round was, of all people, Mion, and now I was certain. Today, I could win. Now then. Mion, pull out one of the slips, okay? Mion, accepting a defeat, scratched around inside the bag and pulled out one piece of paper. What? Who did this? Who wrote this? Mion quivered and shrieked. What is it? Rena was also surprised when she peeked at it. What kind of terrible thing was written on it? Pet the principal on the head. Hey, wait, how is this bad? Kate, do you not understand? The principal is balding and ashamed of it. Stoko yelled with a serious look on her face, but she wasn't as loud as Mion's shriek. What could it be? Principal is a martial arts master. He boasts about travelling around the world, perfecting his skills when he was younger. He snatched to teaching after seeing the poor state of education in Japan after the war. He was inhuman. Pet that guy's head? As a club president, there's no way I can set a bad example by refusing. Phew. Yeah! Bellowed out his yell, she dashed off down the hallway. Wouldn't it have been easier to sneak up quietly and try and do it without making a fuss? Probably impossible. They say he used to hunt sea slugs just by sensing their presence. Could do nothing but wait with bated breath. Kapow! A rumble shook the classroom. That's the principal's aerial opener. Many noises. That dang strong fierce combo. He's even using meter. How it sounded. Principal's jumping fierce sounds like a multi-hit. Fierce sounds like a multi-hit combo. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Nothing I could do now except stay calm. I understood now why there were no delinquents at this school. Except for us, perhaps. After a few moments of silence, Mion slumped back into us. Headed. Is that good enough? So Pixie, Higurashi is a visual novel which has only recently been translated to English, about a guy who moves to a small town for his father's job, and stuff happens, and it is a horror game, and part of the, I guess, appeal of it is that it's very polarized in its story. So the first half of the game is a lot like this. It's a bit slapstick. It's quite like, it's like, here's all this dumb shit happening that's like, you know, Lucky Star slice of life anime type stuff, but then underneath there's this undercurrent of bad, and it gets worse. And I have read the manga up to, so there's 8 chapters in like the base section of story, or 8, not chapters, basically 8 games of about 8 to 10 hours each. I have read the manga translations of, I believe, up to the end or midway through the 7th one. I came very near the end and that's when I stopped reading it. I've never seen the anime, but apparently the game is the best way of doing it. Yeah, but from what I've heard, I mean, you can sort of tell it with the funky music. The first half of the game is a lot like this. It is very slapstick, but don't worry, it gets worse. Is that good enough? Mion said before collapsing. She's alive, at least. Now we can continue the game. Monster was amazed the person who made club activities like these could say that. But now, the worst penalty is gone now, right? Right? Rena tried to lighten the mood, was only met with Mion's pernicious grin. She was serious now. I'm not holding back anymore. You'll all get yours. The pace of the game became bizarrely quick. Could tell the game had gotten more intense. Ace, 3, 4, 5. I'm out. I'm out as well. I'm out too. 3. I am now out. I lost? And the heavens chose to vanquish Rena. What kind of penalty, I wonder? What kind of penalty, I wonder? It wasn't exactly hard for her to be worried. Just thinking of the level of difficulty of Mion's first penalty still made me quiver. So, penalty to do with trembling fingers was... The heck was this? Speak like a maid? What is this? What do I need to do? So basically, it means that you have to use the same expressions as a maid? Okay, master. Hit me like a ton of bricks. I had no idea who wrote that penalty, but she was awesome. Then Rena, can you shuffle the cards and deal? I'm not saying this. Anyway, let's continue. Right, Rena? Eagerness to which I was goading Rena into dressing me as master was downright impressive, if I do say so myself. Well, yeah, I won't lose anymore. I'm out. I shan't lose either. I'm out. Then with that, I'm out too. I can't believe it. So Rena's lost again? Yep, this is a sort of game it is. What kind of penalty would it be this time? I was delighted by the mysterious sense of anticipation. Anticipation? No, this was conviction. Remove one piece of clothing. It's just indecent. I could have written this. Face reddened in anger. If I didn't yell something out, I wouldn't be able to hide my shaking. And who did write that? God, please give that man. Be an ignoble prize. Not good, not good. What I was thinking about was written on my face. Mion. Rena begged Mion with teary eyes, but everyone knew Mion's answer already. Nope, nope, won't go easy on you. You lost, so take it like a man. Understood. I'll undress. Thinking someone else would probably stop her. Of course, I wasn't exactly trying to stop her either. I heard the rustling of clothing, sound of her skirt hitting the ground. Is this fine, master? Looked away like a gentleman. These club activities needed to be ruthless after all. See, I would have just taken, like, my socks off. You clothes underneath. Soko poked fun at me, but right now I can't hear it. Not bad, Keiichi. This old man never even thought you would go after her like that. Got it wrong. I didn't write that one. Didn't write this one? It's going around on pea clothes made it impossible. Yeah. Wrote that one and planned to go after me as I panicked. Can't fall for a trap after knowing it's a trap. Clear your head. Calm down and assess the situation. I was determined to think my way out of this, and the answer was quite simple. I win. I then became a god. I, who had already entered the domain of godhood, what would dare stand in my way? It was like they were pulled to me magnetically. I was picking up aces and twos like nobody's business. How could my luck of the draw be so bad? Soko lost, right? I'll draw the penalty. Speak like a little sister. Ah, fine. Ni-chan. Ah. Brat disgrace herself. Ah, this old man loses again. Mion's lost, right? I'll draw it out. Wear a girls' school swimsuit? No, that's the one I wanted Keiichi to get. Yes, Mion's despair was like sweet honey. Lost again? I'll draw it for you. Let the person in first place rest their head on your lap. In this outfit? Too good. Stuck or lost again? I'll draw it. I paid the person in first place. How about I have you give me a shoulder massage? Fine, Nishan. Come on, do it a bit harder. Don't use your nails. I transformed into an evil dictator and couldn't be doing any better. Felt like I could control how the cards played out with my mind and even decide what suits would appear just by willing it. By the time I'd realised, I'd already assembled a harem. Laughing haughtily as I rested my head on Rena. Call it, take on little sister properties. No one was finding me whilst wearing a school swimsuit. Today is an overwhelming victory, isn't it? How could I wish for more than this? Take care, Pixie. Have a safe trip home. What is it, Keiichi? I'm saddened by the thought of a man having no end to his desires. That was it. Rika hadn't been in first, but she continued to escape being last. Keiichi's quite greedy. Said you should know when enough is enough. I know that very well, but how to say it? I feel like I wouldn't mind if I died now. Please remove me. I'm dying. Then that can be arranged. Rika said it in her usual calm manner with a cheery tone. There was undoubtedly a declaration of war. Go, Rika, go! Take him out! Defeat this archdevil of perversion. I might not be able to win, but I'll beat him. Such stoicism from this little girl who's always hidden away in Stoko's shadow. Probably be rude not to meet her head on. Shall face you myself, little one. Saw me swap a few cards with Rika in the middle of the game, but pretended I didn't see it. Do you believe you can beat Keiichi with it just like that? 2. Ace, ace, ace. 8, 8, 8. Reversal. Everyone looked over at me. They're still brimming with confidence. 4 of them have allied against me. That's it. Making me laugh. It was good. Reversal, reversal. What? How could such a thing be? Suka let out a shriek. Haha, you simpletons. Using up all of her cards before calling the reversal left Rika with no good cards. She was defeated soon after. I lost. Aha, finally you fall into my clutches. Now I'll pick one out. My cat ears, a bell collar, and a tail? Even the penalties were as I wished. I'm not into this. That's why such things run me off locker, but since I had no objections, I didn't ask. Felt like I'd become Rena. This was definitely cute. Cute, isn't it? Isn't it? Oh, I want to take her home. That wasn't me talking. That was the actual Rena. As Rika mimicked a cat, teary-eyed rings of smoke escaped from Rika's ears with an audible poof. Just for a while. I'll do anything strange. I see. I still have one trick left. Mion gasped, dropped and fisted her into open palm. Rena can take me home. After Rena beats Keiichi, she can? They thought that Rena in cute mode would be able to defeat me? Would it be that easy? Posing me was the same as opposing God. I'd teach them their place. Preposterous. That Rena can't defeat me. For a moment, I didn't know what was going on. 52 cards danced and flowed freely between Rena's hands like the machinations of a master magician. In the middle of those flowing cards was Rena's ecstatic expression, her head bobbing around. Shall we, Keiichi-kun? Hurry, hurry. My whole body not ready. I was going to lose. No play? Nothing to play, Keiichi? Then with this, I'm out. Everyone cheered. I was spent. Phew, got no regrets. Thank you for letting me dream a little. Now then, I'll take one out. Keiichi's penalty? This is it. Everybody peeked in unison, gazes flicking through the text in my face. All day today, it is as I pleased. I'll do whatever it is. What's on there? All. Huh? Every penalty up until now. What the heck? Keiichi, should you not be speaking like a little brother? Yes, Sonne-chan. Oh, this is quite addicting. Next I'll have you rub my shoulders. Gee, I don't need the lap pillow, so do that other one, okay? Yes, master. Keiichi, it's so cute. Say it again, say it again. No. Rena passed out with a squeal. Dignity was being trampled more than a communal doormat. Next is from this old man. I'm gonna have you fan me for a good long while, you know? Whoosh whoosh. Oh, almost forgot. You need to wear this, don't you? School swimsuit. Well, this is for girls. Can't I wear the one for boys? It was clearly written here. We're a girls' school swimsuit, as you can see. Stoko was like a loan shark. Actually, me trying to keep a security as fast as humanly possible is pretty adorable if I did say so myself, but whose school swimsuit am I going to wear? I'm wearing one of yours. You wouldn't like it, right? Ah, this old man doesn't care about that kind of stuff at all. Think of it as a little benefit. I'm not that in shape, so I think even Keiichi can fit into it. Executioners surrounded me, wagging their fingers. No. First thought, it's tied around the waist. Second thought, chest area is pretty loose. Third thought, crotch area was... Keiichi is bending forward. You'll be ready after you wear the Cadier's bed and tail. Keiichi, want to look in the mirror? It's amazing, really. It's probably best if you look. Stern, scientific, calculating nature mixed in with a fascination made Mion very scary. I'd like to respectively decline. Ensemble is complete. If only we could send you home dressed like that. Then, is this enough? I'll change and... While I was saying that, Mion placed her hands on my shoulders and Rika slipped up behind me without a sound. Not yet, Keiichi. There's still the first penalty left. In this get-up? Rika patted my head without saying a word. Sir, excuse me. Yes, please come in. Step forwards into the principal's office. My bell collar jingled adorably. Principal froze-solid with a smile on his face and saw me. Couldn't blame him. In the secret place to study, specifically in his office, though I said excuse me as I entered, the sight of a person entering with school swimsuit, caddies, a collar and a tail, and for it to be a young male student, without doubt any normal person's psyche would have stopped cold. This could be explained. We'll call it uncanny valley camouflage, if you will. When humans see others, they can only begin to act after confirming this is human, meaning that if he could not comprehend what was in front of him, then those moments before he could fully begin to process the situation, his mind was completely blank. This is my one and only chance for victory. My penalty. Rubbing the principal's head. Turned you. I heard what sounded like a zing 3 times. His 3-gauge super? Principal said one thing to me. What does it mean to be a man? And in a heartbeat... Tremor resounded throughout the Himazawan twilight. And I ruined it with a cough. F. Big F. Rena was given permission to caress Rika's head as much as he wanted, so they headed home together, very pleased. Once again today, it was just Mion and I going home. Man, that was intense. I didn't know Keiichi was so good at President. No, I was more surprised than anyone. If I was playing with guys, I wouldn't have been that strong. But still, it was pretty bad. Being carried off on a stretcher in the outfit would probably haunt me until the day I die. That's fine, isn't it? You were able to do something to boast about for the ages, too. Well, when she says it like that, we both smiled at each other. Oh, we meet again, Keiichi. It was Tomitake-san. Felt like I've been running into him quite often. Hey, taking any good pictures? Well, a few, so... Tomitake suddenly leaned up and whispered into my ear. You sure get around. Today you already have a different girl? It's not like that. No need to hide it. It's important to get lots of experience when you're young. Because Tomitake let out such a crude laugh, Mio knew what we were talking about with even hearing us whispering. I've heard through the grapevine that Mr. Tomitake is quite the catch himself, huh? No, that wasn't my intention. Sure. Keep up the good work and take plenty of pictures. See ya. Mion seemed to really want to get rid of this lout quickly. From the way she spoke, seemed as if Mion knew him quite well. How's the year treating you, mister? Staying until the Watanagashi? Yep, I plan to. After photographing the festival, I plan on heading back to Tokyo. Being a photographer sure is easy. Be sure to win some big award and become famous. You spent all your best years on photography after all. I don't think I'm that far gone. Don't they say men start developing their own unique flavour in their 30s? What does it matter what you taste like? That's so gross. Oh, look at the time. I need to get back to the inn before it gets dark. Tomitake began to take his leave with a dry laugh. Did look like he was outmatched by Mion. Now then, I'll see you both at the festival. Waving hand cheerfully, Tomitake disappeared amidst the cry of the Higurashi. Where he's going, he probably won't ever get famous. I didn't promise you display a picture of me if you ever opened up a gallery, but I don't think that'll ever happen. So you know Tomitake? Yeah, he's an acquaintance of sorts, but you know how easy it is to tell he's an outsider. Sounded like you meet him all the time. Tomitake comes around to Hinamizawa regularly, maybe 2-3 times a year. He says he's taking pictures of the seasonal scenery and birds, but the photos are really nothing to phone home about. The image Mion painted of Tomitake was fairly unique. Tamatake I knew was more mysterious. The words flows naturally from my mouth. I wonder if he's really here to take pictures of birds. Mion stared blankly at his ears as if to say, why do you say that? Just seems he's here for something other than taking pictures, I think. Don't you get that feeling? Like, about that incident, the dismemberment. Oh, you too? So, you've got good instincts, Keiichi. She agreed with what I thought, but was quite chipper in how she said it. You knew about it then, Mion? Of course. He might be able to pull one over everyone else, but he can't fool this old man. Mion was posturing potentially, but I usually come to a very different conclusion from what she was imagining. I guess she's imagining that he's, like, cruising. Felt like all apprehensions I had about Tamatake disappeared, lifting a burden off my shoulders. Finally able to appreciate how clear the evening sky over Hinamizawa was. Exhaled everything in my lungs and inhaled just as much. It smelled like dusk. What is it, Keiichi? It's just that I never thought the cries of the Higurashi could feel this good. What's gotten into you all of a sudden, Keiichi? Both continued to giggle, not knowing why. Wonder what Rena's doing. I bet she's getting a fill of Rika by now. Probably in the middle of asking her over so she can treat her to dinner. Great if she's able to take it home. I wonder, Rika's pretty good at that stuff. Yeah, I feel the same. That head-petting penalty was probably from Rika. I thought so too. Only one who could get away with patting his head is Rika after all. Just pointless chit-chat. Hot day felt like it was being cooled down by the cries of Higurashi. Do you like this funky yet relaxing music? The achievement is a fate worse than death. Have your luck run out. Community notice. Greeting the end of the rainy season sooner than prior years. On this day when it feels like summer will soon arrive, I'm pleased that everyone's in good health. The season for the Onikakushi is finally upon us. I believe the assistance of the town council will make this a wonderful festival. Also wish to ask for the assistance of everyone in regards to a few things. 1. Collecting bazaar goods. We'll look forward to a well-received Hinamizawa Grand Bazaar exhibition, holding a massive collection of excess goods and used clothing. No raw goods, please. Management, Makino, telephone, blah blah blah. Recruiting Lille Festival drum dancers. Renowned Lille Festival drum dancers group, known for its careful choreography, Shofu Society, is taking last-minute participants, looking for any Shoba elementary and middle schoolers. Management, Kimiyoshi, telephone, blah blah blah. Taking donations. We're accepting donations in multiples of 100,000 yen, rather. For every 1,000 yen donation, you'll be awarded with a refreshment stand ticket. Management, Sonozaki. It's about $10. Always taking suggestions for ways to improve the festival at all times. If you have an interesting idea, call Kimiyoshi at blah blah blah. There is a 200 yen refreshment stand ticket attached below the cut line. That's about 20 cents. Let us save. And continue. A few days have passed since the incident. During that time, either Mion was busy or Rika had to help with the festival preparations, so we couldn't get everyone together for club activities. Even though I thought I would never want to participate again after the years that shaved off my life each time, not having it only made my heart grow fonder. I really am not honest with myself. Today, we finally had our club activities again. These weren't the same old club activities. It was called the Onikakushi 5 Demon Firefight, and it was one of the biggest events in the club. Keiichi, does this yukata still fit you? Can you try it on for a second? Mum pulled out an old, dusty yukata. Nah, I don't need a yukata. Those are embarrassing, so I'll just go in my normal clothes. This is a festival. Wear it, okay? Rena and the others said regular clothes are just fine. Plus, only when wearing a yukata, it'd be even more embarrassing. Put on the same old vest as usual. I'll be going with Rena and the others, so you don't need to worry about me. Is that so? I'll be going with Dad when he wakes up. Dad let out a loud snort from the sofa. How it looks, he must have pulled an all-nighter last night. He just finished sending in his manuscript, so he might not wake up for a while. Seems my dad writes for art magazines sometimes too. I've never read it though. Wonder if my dad is a really famous artist. Since his own son is saying something like that, I can't imagine saying all that well. But he's able to feed a family of 3, and my life isn't exactly full of hardships. Could be some master painter, and I don't know about it. Ping pong. Keiichi, are you home? Uh-oh, it was already time. Didn't want them coming here, so I was planning on leaving early and waiting outside. Oh, it's Rena-chan. Thank you for always looking after Keiichi. Ah, man, he's also been looking out for Why are you blushing just from meeting my mum? Don't get all flustered. It really doesn't feel right. Let's go, Rena. Since Rena would continue to space out if I left her here, I grabbed her hand and dragged her out. Rena, look after Keiichi for me. Yes, ma'am. Even if it means I must sacrifice myself. Then why don't you do it right now? She waved back even as I was dragging her away. Okay, Keiichi, you hungry today? We'll take care of that at these stalls. Thought I'd let myself get full knowing that club activities would involve these stalls. Wouldn't have it any other way. Where are Rika and Stoka? Are they already at the temple? Yep, Rika's a festival committee member after all. Stoka's probably with her as well. I see. Alright, let's make some noise today. Yeah! We were already in high spirits with just the three of us there. Funky music time! It was way more lively at the Furude Shrine than the last time I came, far exceeding my expectations. Throngs of people were crammed between rows of market stalls lined with colourful paper lanterns. Despite that, it was actually quite enjoyable. Sure, lots of people here. Can't believe they all live in Hinamizawa. Everybody attends the Onikakushi. Think about half the villagers here. It's not just that. Municipal and youth councils from neighbouring towns and villages advertise this event as well. That's right. There aren't that many students at our school, but there's a lot of kids here today. It just doesn't feel like a festival unless there are kids running around after all. That's true. Hello and good evening. Those two knew everybody we came across. Of course, I greeted them as well, but I still wasn't familiar with everyone yet. Oh, Rena, thanks for the food you brought me a while back. My son loved it. He said it was delicious. It was nothing at all. I'm glad he liked it. Hello to Kazuma-kun. Kazuma for me, please. Hey, if it isn't Sonozaki... You know, Sonozaki, I'm in charge of a stand again this year, so make sure you come visit. Pops, have you gotten fatter? You'll end up having a heart attack with a gut like that. Oh, this kid here is new. Are you one of her underclassmen? He's one of my members. An upcoming hopeful. If you cross him, you could crush your stand in one night. Got a little missy seal of approval, I see. Hope you take it easy on me. As you could imagine, Mion was chatting away with the old guys running the stalls. Mion is really energetic after all. She's really popular with the older men. I think Rena's pretty popular too. Being cute and all. That was of course so long as the little condition didn't flare up. But as long as she's blushing quietly, she's pretty cute. I'm popular with people? Really? With some people. I've only given her a straight answer by roughly tousling her hair. The storekeepers came all the way from town. It's not really a festival without them after all. So we're gonna mess with them now? I don't care what kind of match it is. I'm going to win it. Oh yes, I'll try too. Hi Nagels! I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good day. We have finally reached the festival. I think we're about halfway through actually, so... You're all very late. It's unacceptable to keep a lady waiting, Keiichi. Oh, my bad. So where is this lady I kept waiting? What did you just say? Alright, Stoka was in top form as well. Seemed she was all excited about being able to get everybody in the club together for the first time in a while. Good, I'm glad to hear that. Oh, Rika, cute. Rena let out an elated sigh, seeing that the real lady had made her appearance. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to Keiichi as well. Whoa, looking good. You're looking sharp again this year. Cute. Take you home. Rika's wearing a shrine maiden outfit. Yep. Rena's little outburst was completely understandable. Rika's clothes sure look like the real deal. Is that a real shrine maiden outfit? My grandmother made them by hand. They're quite authentic. Said to you at the end of the festival, so she's wearing this. I have not played any of the console arcs, though I do know that the 07th mod does port them to PC, so I'm probably going to play them after I play like the main body of the game. See, Rika's on the executive committee because she performed all the Shrine Maiden rituals for the festival. My work is only during the finale of the festival, so I can still play for a while. I did see a thing saying like when a good idea is to play each one, and then it confused the hell out of me, so we can't afford to waste any time. Let's begin. Alright. Felt good to wander on the festival with just the five of us. Mion called everyone over to a stand that caught her attention and proposed a rather odd competition. Yeah. I have very, like, vague memories, of the storyline, so... Takoyaki eating race. Okay, yeah. Everyone has to buy their own. Ready? Go. Standard in vendor stores, the takoyaki stand was especially standard for these kinds of events was the fact that they were simply balls of dough, takoyaki in name only. Burns. Are you okay, Keiichi? Have some water. My, eating this golden takoyaki whole is suicide. I guess the trick is to buy the ready-made ones that have been left there for a while. They really don't taste good. Still next to it was shaved ice stand. It's still a bit too early in the season for that, but right then it didn't matter. Let's do shaved ice this time. It's a shaved ice eating race. Ready? Go! Shaved ice eating rice. I can't. As long as you can melt it a bit with your body heat, then it's so cold. Not smart. So man ordered it with plenty of syrup. It'll melt quickly when it's mixed up. The Stooges were too late. The moment they chose to tackle it head on was their downfall. Phew. Okay, yeah. I don't know how I feel about, I might try out the voice acting, like when I finish this, see what it's like. Cause we'll see. I will try it out though. Keiichi's done? That's too fast. It couldn't be. Keiichi, you didn't add water from the goldfish tank behind you, did you? That can't taste very good. Next to that was another old favourite, a cotton candy stand. Why don't we do this one next? Of course, it's a speed eating contest. Hey, how do you eat cotton candy quickly? How? Unhinge your jaw and eat it like a snake. Press the cotton candy with our bare hands. Time it took to stick the whole thing on our mouths? 3 seconds. Expected Stoko to figure out, but I didn't think Keiichi would too. Can't have you treating me like a newbie forever, can I? Wouldn't taste very good. Rika had also crushed it behind her hands and stuck it into her mouth. This is probably the only place in Japan where people eat cotton candy like this. I think only Rena's cotton candy was happy with how it was eaten. But it felt like we'd end up doing stuff like eat noodles through the nose contest or human water pump at the goldfish scoop the way things were going. Some man will probably still win too. I am simply no match for Mion when it comes to eating repulsive things. Yeah, seriously. What's up with you guys? Are you telling me you don't want to have a blue Hawaii topped yakisoba eating contest? Shake shake. Both Chitoko and I shook our heads rather in unison. Can we have a game that doesn't involve food this time? Can we? Rena's proposal was a godsend. It was about time we played a different kind of game. It also sounded like neither Rena nor Rika were any good at speed eating or gorging themselves. Okay, Rena, I'll let you pick out the next game. Anything is fine. Well then, I'm gonna be the judge. Find cute things on the festival grounds. You have 1 minute. Fine by me. I know exactly what Rena likes. Alright. I think I can win with that. Ready? Go. Oh? Why aren't Keiichi and Rika starting? Why not? Me and Stoko dashed off madly, but Rika and I stayed calmly right we were. Could it be you've already found it? The cute thing? You've already found it. Keiichi too? Yep. What is it? What is it? I can't wait! Both Rika and I stood motionless for those few moments before Mion and Stoko returned. Probably the first time we've gone head to head like this. It will be the first. Rika, you expect to win with that, huh? I'm a member of this club as well. Win by any means is our society's third rule. Rika sneered to the best of her ability. You're on. Both Mion and Stoko came back, each with their own plan of attack stuffed in their arms. Okay then, let's go in order. Start with the club president, Mion. Too bad, you guys. I'm ending this now. So man brought this. Where'd she get those? They were old tin diamond-shaped signs. Pleb curry, snake oil incense, and oranaminsi? See, how's this? It's very understated. A little too understated, Mion. Used to see those stuck up on barbed wire fences. They're more nostalgic than cute. Can you explain what part of that is cute? There were puffs of smoke noisily shooting out of Rena's ears and nose, almost like a steam train. I didn't get it. I shall be up next. It is this. There's a hand-drawn poster from the Ladies' Society's roasted corn stall. It's a really bad sketch done by a housewife. An anthropomorphic roasted corn drawn without any sort of real plan. Its very existence invited a sense of sorrow to the viewer. Much like me. That was the sound. Rena seemed to have been rated higher than Mion's. Really didn't get it. Feels like your artistic sense is a little avant-garde by about 5 eons. Oh ho ho, those were nothing but mass-produced signs after all. They had no chance against something hand-drawn. Couldn't even begin to follow the way those guys were thinking. Then I will be next. Next is Rika, is it? What can you even do without anything? Did you and Stoko both forget? Rika felt like it. She could simply... After moving back about 10 yards, she began waddling up to Rena. Seeing that, both Mion and Stoko gasped. Oh no, too late. Rika tripped over nothing and lay motionless after falling down. Rena hurried over to her. Rika, you alright? Rika had a lump on her forehead and tears welled up in her eyes. Only her fingers poked out from her sleeves. This was the vital part. The palms of her hands were covered by her sleeves. She made just a single sound. Cute. Completely forgotten that. Play that I personally had to use. Rena's face went completely red, her head bobbing back and forth with excitement. She embraced Rika and began rubbing her cheeks against her. I expect no less from her. Not a single element was overlooked. Shrine Maiden, brink of crying. Ew. It was perfect. A simple trick transcended into pure moe. Now this is what you call art. Kichi is a pretty weird definition of art. Just pretend the sharp sting of those words cutting through me like a razor was a figment of my imagination. Rika turned to gaze to me with a daunting smile as she was caressed by Rena, who was in full-on cute mode. Now, Keiichi, can you beat me? Cold smile is frightening, Rika. Might just have been my imagination, but I see a demon inside her sometimes. Wink. Keiichi seems to have his own plan of attack. I wonder what he's going to show her. I also wish to observe the play Keiichi will make. Could it be? Is Keiichi also going to give a performance? I basked in that pointed stares. I pulled Rena, who gave no sign of cancelling out of cute mode, away from Rika. Cute thing, cute thing. Keiichi, let's go. Show you something even cuter, so just hold on for now. Huh? Oh? Something even cuter? But it's a bit too crowded here. Let's go back there. Rena looked very surprised as I pulled her behind the shrine. I cannot fathom what Keiichi could possibly be planning. This is Keiichi after all. No, it couldn't be. Keep on fighting, yeah. After a bit, I returned. And a bit after that, so did Rena, dragging her feet. There's no way that scoundrel did something to innocent little Rena. Mion and Stoko passed me by, heading straight to Rena. What exactly did he do to you? For a moment, Rena was too dazed to realise someone was talking to her. Oh, it's Mion. Rena, are you alright? Did Keiichi do anything to you? No, he didn't do anything strange to me. This is quite severe. Exactly what did Keiichi show you? Oh, it was so cute. What did he show you, Rena? Let out a really long howl. Her eyes sparkled as she spoke. It was Keiichi's furry little seal. In the blink of an eye, Mion Stoko's elbow smashed into my face. Huh? What? What? Oh, Rena's... I've been beaten into oblivion. Wait, you got it all wrong. Dark glowing aura flowed from Mion on Stoko. It was no good. They're gonna kill me. Mion, I'm not sure what's going on, but you got it all wrong. You see, Keiichi had... It's a fur seal keychain. Rika stuck a hand into my pocket and pulled out my keychain. Ah? He said he made it long ago for one of his summer school assignments. He said he doesn't show it often because it's embarrassing. Yeah, so small and cute. Tried his best to make it. It's so wonderful. Oh, this old man thought you meant... Ho, expect no less from Mion. Misconstrue things in the wildest ways. They slung insults at each other and looked like they're ready to tear into each other any second. I beg of you, I'm in the clear, would you mind getting off me? We were interrupted by the flash of a camera. Hey guys, you all seem energetic as usual. It's Tomitake-san. As I lay crumpled on the ground, Mion and Stoko continued to bicker above me. Rika was petting me on the head, and Rena was still in cute mode. It's probably quite a lively scene. It's a fine evening indeed, though it's rather poetic to photograph a lady without her permission. That's right, at least you don't really need Stoko's permission. Stoko dug her heel into me. Good evening. You're heading back tomorrow, aren't you? Were you able to take lots of good photos? Thanks to you, I got plenty of good shots. Tonight's the last we can see old Tomitake-sama, isn't it? Such a shame. Hurry up and have your major breakout soon. Just as rude as ever, aren't you? Really am sad I won't be able to hear that voice of yours for almost half a year. Be sure to have as much fun as you can tonight. We'll be back in Tokyo tomorrow, after all. That's true. Will be another 6 months, until I can enjoy another night where I can see the stars. Tomitake looked up at the night sky cheerfully. At that moment, even though he was smiling, I sensed a bit of sadness. Why don't you move here, Tomitake? In Hinamizawa? Tomitake was speechless. It's not very convenient here. No shops or recreational spots. Might not be anything really here, but, you know, everyone knew what I was trying to say. Tomitake was also well aware. Rena, Mion, Stoko, and Rika? None of them butted in. I've only been here for less than a month, so I don't really know everything about it. Normally I'm a really talkative guy, but in situations like this I'm at a loss for words. Even though all this was happening in such a boisterous setting, felt like all the background noise was fading into the distance. The place is probably... Tomito rested his hands on me, gently silencing me. Thank you, Keiichi. Mion and Rena, Stoko and Rika. Tomitake's smile was so slight it looked as if it was going to crumble any minute, but it was warm. I also think it would be great if I could live here. This might have been cruel words coming from a kid who didn't worry about working to feed himself. A hand touched my back. It was Rena. Keiichi, you shouldn't pick on adults. It's not nice. Background clamour at the festival returned. We won't be seeing him for a while, after all. We need to make sure Tomitake also enjoys tonight. When Rena smiled, the mood instantly got brighter. That's true. I think I'll do just that. Ah, hey, Mion. How about it? Can we let Tomitake in on our club activities? It's a great idea. Or so I thought, but Mion had a snobbish look on her face. One of the requirements for membership is residence in Hinamizawa, you see? Come on, Mion. Just for today, don't be mean. Well, he does come round every year. I'll make him an honorary citizen. Well, yay. Now then, I wonder if this aged fellow well past his prime will be a match for me. Let's have him show us the wisdom of mature adults. Ha! Can you keep up with us young'uns? Tomite stepped back slightly at our audacious grins. I, Mion Sonozaki, club president, do hereby authorize honorary citizen Tomitake's entry into our club. Words were quickly drowned out by our cheers. Ooh, what do you mean by club? What our club does, you see. In order to cope for a complicated society, we perform various activities with various rules. Sometimes they're in your favour, and sometimes they work against you. I'm pretty weak, so I prefer you not single me out. Let's try to get along. If you wish to mock at childish games, then this will be the perfect opportunity. We'll leave you with nothing. We won't even leave the hairs on your butt. So it's a club where we play games together. Of course, Riku was the only one to give an answer that made sense. Alright, just what I wanted. I'll take you up on that challenge. Don't be too rough on me, my mentors. Tomitake got rolled up and did a victory pose like he was 10 years younger. It's perfect. Continued walking through the festival with me on the front. Now we looked like a family of 6. It had some intensity to it. Same rules as always. Loser will of course be subject to a penalty. Tomitake was a bit surprised, but to us it was just the same as always. Regardless of how terrible plenty it was. Just don't lose. Rena was also bringing with determination. Didn't have any intention of losing. That's true. Tousled Rena's hair to lighten the mood. She giggled to hide her embarrassment. I see. This is what it means to feel like I'm a kid again. Tomitake whispered that to nobody in particular. That moment, we heard an old man call out in a strong voice. Looking over, I realised it was the man Mion had greeted right before the festival. You're here. Little Miss Sonozaki. Seems you brought quite the crowd. We came to eradicate your entire stall. The stall was a shooting gallery. It was the usual setup where you had to knock down the prize you wanted with a cork gun. The rules are simple. 3 shots, the winner's whoever gets the biggest prize. Everybody shouted their agreements. And I nearly burnt my hand blowing out a candle. There was no need to consider how to win, since the condition for victory was simply size. Biggest prize at the stall? It went without question. It was that one, wasn't it? Whoa, a teddy bear. Rena was gazing longingly at a large stuffed animal. It was intentionally placed on an unsteady platform, so it's possible to get it if you hit the right spot. It's magnificently set up to make someone think that. Not bad, Keiichi. Figured you would see through this scam instantly. Most logical course of action would be to aim for some candy or a doll. Intent analysis had already begun. In this club, you get eaten alive if you don't come prepared. Everything hinges on what plan you can come up with before the main event. At some point, a large crowd had gathered around us, making a big fuss. There was this much of a following for our club's infamous event. Knocking that bear down ensures a win. Only 3 shots? To use them all just trying? That'd be rough. Hey, I have other customers waiting, you know. Who's up first? The first one has the advantage of being able to aim for the easier prizes, but it's dangerous to compete without knowing the gun's quirks. Tomitake's take on the situation was pretty good. Gets what a club is about. Well then, to be fair, how about using rock, paper, scissors to decide? How about it? It's really the only way. Rock, paper, scissors. After a couple of matches, it ended up with Mion being first. I didn't want to end up first. Oh well, I'll just think of it as a handicap. Gramps, gun. Here you go. When the shooting range guy handed a rifle, Mion looked over intently. She didn't forget to check the cork bullet either. Okay. This gun is brand new, isn't it? No faults? Not bad. Mion raised the gun in one swift motion, completely different from a careful inspection. She was shooting from the hip. Fire. Reload. Fire. Reload. Fire. Flop. Flop, flop. 3 candy boxes fell, one after another. A big haul. The crowd paused for a moment of awe and then erupted in cheers. Whoa, awesome. Was quite good. Tomotake's was a loss for words after seeing such shooting prowess. Amazing, Mion. 3. Your accuracy was incredible. Choice of targets wasn't bad either. The 3 Mion had gone after were fairly large and pretty easy to knock over. They were all targets with a very high return on investment. Who's up next? Stoko? Careful, the bullets are light. Next was Stoko. Rifle looked a bit big for her live body, but it didn't seem like she had any problem with it. Of course, I shall aim for the grand prize. She proclaimed that she was going after the teddy bear. Damn, Stoko, such a bold move. The moment she knocks it over, she's guaranteed to be in first. Good luck, Stoko. Stoko was the opposite of Mion. She aimed at the target quite carefully and squeezed the trigger. Bah, bullets are too light. First 2 bullets struck the bear in the torso, but it only shifted a bit. Need to aim higher towards the head or it won't work. Stoko's third bullet was aimed at the bear, but at the candy box below its arm. I hate to say it, but it appears the bear is just too much for me. She went boldly after the big catch, but since she switched over to the last impressive lay at the last second, the crowd only gave a strained laugh. Were they laughing because she lacked the courage? These fools know nothing. A fine attempt, Stoko. You've gotten better. Palm of Mion's outstretched hand went pomp, and it tapped right down on Stoko. Appeared to just be talking hot air, but this was actually completely calculated. Damn that Stoko. Just to avoid being in last place, she dared to switch over to an easy target, without shame or honour. Magnificent. I'll allow you to take the bear, Rena. I pray for your victory. Okay. Thanks so much, Stoko. Ah, bear's so cute. Rena was up next. Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn as regular Rena, but she said that bear was cute. I wonder how Rena will do. I hope she's able to hit at least one. You're underestimating Rena, Tomitake. It's Rena, you know? It's Rena Ryugu, you know? If it was to get that teddy bear? Whoa! Tomitake wheeled around to see what the commotion spectators were making was about. Was it to get that bear? She'd be able to shoot through a pinhole. The one known as Rena Ryugu could do it. Shaking. It's shaking. Rena couldn't hide her excitement over the bear slow locking. Now Rena couldn't lose. Not bad, Rena. The less collected you become, the stronger you get. Whoa! Another big cheer. Rena's bullet hit the bear's forehead again. Not enough. Bear seemed to wobble more than before. But it might not be possible. You never know. With Rena's skill, it might be. While Tomitake was just as excited as the crowd, Rika's analysis was not swayed by emotion. If Rena had 10 more shots, she could surely knock it over. But with just one more, no matter how you looked at it, no go. Ow. The crowd let out a dejected groan. She shot it right in the forehead 3 times. It was a bit late, but they gave her a good round of applause for the attempt. Oh, Bear, take him home. She should be praised for her valor, but she had no trophies to show for it. Then at that moment, the old man flicked one of the candy boxes with his finger and handed it to Rena. It's for you, little lady. You're giving me this to me? The gods wouldn't forgive me if I let you go home empty-handed after such a display. There was another shower of applause. Rena turned bright red and I pulled back over to her by a hand. You did a good job. Your cute mood really surprised me. I really wanted Mr. Bear. It was easy to see that I only needed a little more to be knocked over. Rena done quite a lot for me. Still need to pay her back for that delicious picnic. Alright, then I'll get it and give it to you. What? Tomitake has stolen the words right out of my mouth. Okay. Please, Tomitake. Good luck. Damn you, old man Tomitake. Stealing the good parts for yourself. A small hand stretched over and fell gently on my head just before I was overcome with frustration. You keep on fighting too, Keiichi, okay? Tomitake carefully studied the bear. Setting his sights, he shouldered the rifle while holding the other 2 shots in his hand. Why is he doing that? Yes, no doubt. Tomitake is aiming for... Whop! 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 Time between shots was short. It was meaningless to shoot again once it stopped shaking. So Tomitake was relying on rapid fire to win the battle. He was visibly wobbling much more than it ever had before. But that was all. still didn't fall over. Oh, too bad. All of Rena's momentary expectation from watching it sway violently turned into a dejected sigh. Really thought it would work. Oh ho ho, seems that since you're a man, you will not be receiving any candy. That was it. Meant Tomitake had no spoils of war. So both Keiichi and Rika can just shoot down a small easy prize and avoid being dead last. Avoid being the loser, huh? Oh, sorry about that. It's your turn next, Keiichi. Best of luck. I was the 5th shooter. Took the rifle from Tomitake. If I took the ruthless route, as Mion suggested, I'd go for a small target. Except, when I picked up the rifle, I definitely got a feeling from it. It was burning passion, passed down to me by Tomitake. Regret of not being man enough to fell the bear that Rena wanted. Yes, that's right. If I didn't aim for the bear, then I wouldn't be a man. After all, that was my promise to Rena. Huh? What promise? What? To shoot down that bear, then give it to Rena. That one. You mean... Crowd went wild when they saw our conversation. Woohoo! Cool! You got balls, man. That's not it. Fine men of the crowd. If I didn't do this, then Rena might mug the old man running the stall on his way home. No, that's not it. That's not it at all. Why can't I just express my honest feelings? Keiichi surely talks the talk, but how do you actually intend to bring down the bear? Rena and Tomitake's shots did make it tilt a bit, but I think finishing the job will be difficult. Keiichi, if only there was some way to shoot faster, I'd be able to pile more power on the sway from each hit. Good luck, Keiichi. I'm taking 2 deep breaths. I shout over to the guy. 2 more rifles. Huh? 3 cows murmured amongst themselves. Wonder what Keiichi is up to. One person can't handle 3 rifles at once. I get it. Nice thinking, Keiichi. Mion was able to figure out magnificently. Basically, what was taking the most time was reloading the shot. That's right. Then, by putting 3 preloaded rifles next to each other, Tomitake went silent, peering at me and the bear through his lens. The photographer's blood predicted a miracle will occur, and then the crowd finally picked up on what I was planning. They had a great cheer. They chanted my name, Keiichi. Rapid fire is the key. If I miss, all is for naught. Phew. After letting out a deep breath, I paused. Relax. Now. That moment felt like time itself had stopped. Felt like I could see the trajectory of the bullets. Hit it, and knock it down. First shot hit the bear on its head. Second. Third. Bear swayed hard. And then... Woohoo! Yeah! Ooh. Cheers began before the stuffed animal even finished falling off the shelf. The guy caught it before it hit the ground and tossed it over to me. You actually knocked it over. You got me. Amazing. Congrats, Keiichi. Keiichi finally learned how to use his head. See you in a slightly better light now. I didn't do it by myself. Everyone hit it, and those small bits together brought it down. This trophy belongs to all of us. Right, this is from all of us working together. Mion didn't hit it a single time. Ugh. After holding up the teddy bear like it was a championship trophy, I handed it to Rika. Here, this is from me. No, from everyone. Thanks for always making your delicious lunches. Rena, thinking she was never actually going to get it, was momentarily speechless. I can't, Keiichi. This is everyone's after all. In that case, I was the one who knocked it down, and it's mine. It's mine, so I'm giving it to Rena. Pushed the stuffed animal towards her again. This time, she embraced and accepted it. You've watched out for me ever since I moved here, after all. I'm really grateful, you see. Thanks a lot. Ah, Keiichi, thanks so much. Rena dove at me. Mion told me a few days later that Rena kissed me, but I didn't realise it during all the excitement at the time. Remember what I was trying to say to Tomitake earlier? There really isn't much of anything here, but there are lots of things you can't find anywhere else. I gained a lot from coming from Tomizawa, especially at that moment. Crowd's cheers echoed on and on. From the altar set up in front of the shrine, the drum sounded with a booming echo. It was the finale of the festival. I'll be going off ahead then. Uh-oh, I need to go ahead and get myself a good spot too. Well then everyone, see you in a bit. Both Rika and Tomitake gave their farewells and disappeared into the crowd. I wish both of you the best in your endeavours. Now, shall we be off? Yeah, might as well go see Rika's charming figure. Let's go. Yeah, huh? Where's Rena? What are you doing? Keiichi, Mion, save me. Since she was carrying such a ridiculously large stuffed animal, she's been carried by the float people. What's she doing? She must have her hands full taking care of that bear. So I'll leave Rena in your care, Keiichi. I had my hands full taking care of Stoko. Who would want to be looked after by you, Mion? Ouch, please don't pull on my arm. Before losing sight of Mion, I grabbed the back of Rena's collar. Keiichi, not there. Don't grab me there. We're so bossy. Where can I grab then? I don't feel ashamed at all. Rena was ashamed enough for the both of us. Grabbed onto Rena's hand and dashed after me and on the others. We're gonna be late. Let's hurry up. Yeah. I hadn't realised Rena's hand was so delicate. Maybe she needed a bit more exercise and nutrition. That wasn't what I meant. Not at all. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. My ears burned. I tried to keep calm. I repeated the phrase, keep it together, Keiichi Mobara, in my mind, but it didn't look like I would be able to anytime soon. I really didn't want to see Rena see my face right then, so I pushed onwards, dragging her along without even looking back once. There was already a huge group of people gathered at the altar in front of the shrine. The fire at the altar made it as bright as midday and just as hot. There was a pile of futons watered with sanctified rope in front of the altar. Come to think of it, they did say it was a festival, they did something with the continent futons. Futons, rather, sorry. Keiichi, Rena, we're over here. Stoko waved a hand from the front row. Ah, sorry. Making our way through the mass of people, we reached the spot they'd saved. How was it? Were you able to have a little bit of excitement with Rena? You punk said that's what your plan was. Instead of replying, Mion gave us a perverse grin. How was it, Rena? Was Keiichi's hand bigger than you thought it would be? Ow. Rena turned bright red. I heard something slice through the air and turned around to see Mion on the ground with a welt on her face. Mion, when were you hit? Between the ha and the o of a how, I think. Rena, it's not good to punch your friends to hide your embarrassment. I didn't hit her. Whatever. How? Thump. The thunderous beat of the drum echoed, silencing the crowd. You must all be quiet. It's beginning. It's a solemn ritual. Rika entered dressed as a shrine maiden, followed by members of the municipal committee. Elders all looked at Rika and clasped their hands in praise. The only thing allowed to disturb the profound silence was the flash from Tomatake's camera. What's the big thing Rika-chan is holding? A hoe that's used for this festival. It's a sacred farming tool that only the shrine maiden may touch. It's an awkward shape for a piece of farm equipment, not uncommon for something used in rituals. After reciting a Shinto prayer, Rika approached the pile of futons gathered at the altar. She swung the hoe skillfully, ploughing it into their futons. Each and every little movement of this performance probably had to be done in a certain way. Without a doubt, this was a ritual. What's next? Airing out futons? She's purifying futons that absorbed illnesses from people over the winter. So when Keiichi said airing out futons, he wasn't completely wrong. Rika's face was already dripping with sweat. That hoe was probably really heavy. She staggered side to side with the momentum of each swing. Stood up, looked on, silently lending her support. Worried? Rika practiced every single day with a mochi hammer. A me hammer! She will certainly prevail. Stoko's hands were sweaty, and whenever Rika started to sway a little, she held her breath. Why wasn't Mion a candidate to be the shrine maiden? Feels wrong having Rika swing around something so heavy. I do it if they ask me, you know. And well, it's not something just anyone could do. That's true. Shrine maidens seem to be pure, after all. Mion drove her elbow into my side. With the thud of the big drum, Rika gave a solemn bow and descended from the altar. That triggered a round of generous applause. After the Shinto priest had raised up the cleaned futons like a portable altar, all the spectators stood up. Following after the priests, we all marched on at a moderate pace. They descended the giant stairs in a line. What's happening now? Washing the futons in the river? What Onikakushi means setting cotton adrift, you know? The procession continued right up to the banks of the stream. The fire was stoked high, and it was bright as day here too. People started crowding around it and clamouring. Alright, get in line. I wondered, line up, Keiichi-kun. What was up? Maybe we should get some holy wine? Red and white beet ones? It's not food. I said it was cotton. Ah, but of course, they didn't call it the Watanagashi for nothing. Finally understood. Municipal committee members pulled out cotton from inside the futons and balled up like mochi, handing it out to people. Rena dove in line and bought some for me as well. We then proceeded to the bank of the stream. Since your first time, Keiichi, just copy what I do. She held the cotton in her right hand and, waving her hand as if to purify it, she touched it for her forehead, chest, navel, and both eyes. You do this 3 times and silently give thanks to Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro-sama? What's that? The name of the shrine's god? Yes, it's the guardian deity of Hinamizawa. Brings about both miracles and curses, so you must be sure to show respect. Sound like a pretty frightening god, but well, when in Rome. Was officially resident of Hinamizawa now, after all. Doing as Rena showed me, I touched the cotton over myself 3 times. Thank you, Oyashiro-sama. Thank you, Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro-sama. This way, all the evil that possesses you is sucked up by the cotton, then you let it gently drift away on the stream and you're done. Together, Rena and I set our pieces of cotton afloat on the surface of the water. The flowers of cotton blooming in the water had sucked out all the evil festering in Hinamizawa and drifted off, disappearing into the distance. It was wonderful, like those floating mountain festivals I'd seen on TV. Best part, though, was feeling like this rite of passage had made me a true resident of Hinamizawa. While staring off into the stream, I somehow got separated from Rena. I wasn't lonely, though. I know this place now. This is where I live. My home. It's probably better if I'd just stay here instead of wandering around aimlessly. Someone would surely find me while I was enjoying the evening breeze. I heard a familiar voice. It was Tomitake-san's. I headed towards it. How did it go, Tomitake? Were you able to get some good shots? Yeah, fortunately. Tomitake was with a girl. I felt little like I was intruding. How was it, Keiichi? Did you enjoy the festival? From the way she spoke, it seemed like she was a resident of Hinamizawa. Really should try harder to remember people's faces here. What was her name? Well, it was fun. My face must have given away how desperate I was trying to remember her name, because she gave a light-hearted chuckle. It's probably because it hasn't been long since you moved here. It's pretty hard to believe, seeing how friendly you've gotten with the other kids. If that's how it looked, it was probably all thanks to Rena and Mion. Perhaps you feel more like a resident of Hinamizawa after taking part in the festival today? I wonder about that. Oh, that's not like you. I tried to get used to Hinamizawa, but there were still plenty of things I didn't know. The faces of people I'd met, for example. Things that had happened in the past as well. Oh, you're feeling left out because of something like that? It's not so much feeling left out. It's just, I'm not sure how to say it. That incident at the dam construction site? Fighting over it and other conflicts? Terrible incident they pretended they didn't even know about whenever I brought it up? Even though it was in the past, as someone living in Hinamizawa, it wasn't wrong to want to know about both the good and bad that happened here. We'll put you at ease and I'll tell you everything I know. Tomitake smiled made me more relieved than I'd ever been. Hard to think of what to ask when someone said, ask me anything, though. Even when there was so much I wanted to ask. Then, could you tell me about what happened when the dam was being constructed? There was a big incident when Hinamizawa was going to be submerged, right? I think the locals would be more knowledgeable about the dam than I am. Well, if you don't mind, I'll tell you what I know. It's only what I read in the newspaper, though. Tomitake's eyes entered an unfocused gaze as he searched for his memory. Then he spoke. The decision to start the dam project was finalised 7 or 8 years ago. I heard it was the next major product after Kurobe. There were 3 major issues in Japan at that time: improving the intraisland and transportation infrastructure, meeting the high demand for electricity, and flood control. There was a boom of dam building due to the massive economic stimulus they provided on top of generating electricity and flood control, and Hamazawa had the right conditions to support dam construction, so it was singled out. The dam reservoir would have covered quite a lot of ground when it was complete. The entire area, right to up to Yakauchi way upstream, would be underwater. But why'd they have to pick a pog day to do it like in Hamazawa? Couldn't they have instead picked a place where nobody lived? I'm not really sure why, but I heard that it was just the right terrain for building a dam. Of course, there were protests here in Hamazawa. Rick had said there was a battle. From that choice of words, I had to guess things had turned violent. There was a trial, and it was even brought up before the National Diet. It was covered in the Tokyo newspapers, too. I think you pronounce it diet and not diet, but I don't know. Mion had told me about that as well. I'm sure every resident of Hinamizawa had united to fight together. Feeling of solidarity found here, which cannot be expressed properly with mere words, was likely brought about by that battle. As a result, bribery and scandals were brought to light. As things got more and more complicated, they eventually halted construction. I wanted to know, now was my only chance to ask. It was certainly a bizarre incident that boys my age would be curious about. Felt a little shame from the fact that I was petty enough to have my own curiosity piqued by Rena and Mion's refusal to talk about the event, but I figured I might as well ask since I had the chance, just so I'd stop thinking about it so much. So there was a dismemberment, right? There was. I happened to be here in Hinamizawa at the time, so I remember it well. Tomitake's answer was nonchalant in contrast to my hesitantly forced-out question. It was about this time, 4 years ago. It was the day of the Onikakushi, if I recall correctly. Debate on whether to continue construction on the dam was in disarray. Scandal after scandal rocked the project near the end. The incident was the final nail in the coffin for the dam project. A fight at the dam construction site ended in the victim being murdered. During prosecution, the 6 assailants divided the remains into 6 pieces and each hid one. 5 of the 6 criminals turned themselves in out of guilt, but 1 was still on the run. The right arm he'd hidden had yet to be found. Major details lined up with what was in the tabloid I'd read earlier. It certainly was a tragic incident, but it wasn't so terrible that Rena and Mion needed to hide it from me. Guess I didn't want someone who just moved here to have a negative impression of Hinamizawa. Felt grateful for having friends who worried so much about me, as well as shame for still being so interested in it. I'm a true crime fan. I feel that. Near the end of all the trouble with the dam, you see. So everyone was saying that it was Oyashiro-sama's curse. Oyashiro-sama's curse, huh? Oyashiro-sama was the name of the god at the shrine that held the festival today, if I recall correctly. I see. The guardian deity rained divine punishment down on the evil dam construction for trying to flood Hinamizawa. Apparently, the younger ones didn't think so, but it seems the elderly in the village never doubted it was Oyashiro-sama's curse. The one with Tomitake-san said with a mischievous chuckle. Tomitake began laughing with her, so infectious I ended up laughing as well. But I wonder about that now. There are quite a few, I think, amongst the youth too. A few, what? People who believe in Oyashiro-sama's curse. Woman's lips were still cut into a smile, but her expression turned stern. Then after that, continued every year, always around this time. Continued? What continued? Tomitake-san paused for a second as if to build up some suspense, then he whispered to me as though someone might have been listening. Every year on the day of the Watanagashi, somebody dies. The year following the dismemberment, on the day of the Watanagashi, a man from Hinamizawa who'd supported the dam fell off a cliff overlooking some rapids and died while he was on vacation. Unfortunately for his wife, the body was never recovered. Supported the dam construction even though he lived in Hinamizawa? At the time there were whispers amongst the elderly saying it was Yorishiro-sama's curse. The woman chuckled mischievously again. Then the next year, the night of the Watanagashi, the shrine Shinto priest died suddenly from an unknown illness. His wife drowned herself in the bog that night. Shrine Shinto priest? Do you mean he was from the shrine here? The woman nodded. There was a rumour amongst the villagers that they weren't able to quell Yoshiro-sama's anger. Then the year after that, again on the night of the Watanagashi, they discovered the battered body of a local housewife. Housewife? Up until now, all these mysterious deaths were people involved with the dam or who had connections with the Yoshiro-sama. With that in mind, could the housewife have been involved in some way too? Exactly, the woman stated slyly. No, it was more menacingly. One of the victim's relatives, you see, was connected to the younger brother of the dam supporter who fell to his death 2 years before. The younger brother is still alive, it seems, but did bother him quite a bit, so he moved to the neighbouring town. That seems a bit... For a while I stood there with my mouth agape. Battle over the dam construction, with Hinamizawa's future at stake, and the murder in the centre of it all. That was all I knew, and that was all I wanted to ask about. But that wasn't all there was to the story. Homicide, body disposal, accidental deaths, terminal illness, suicide, fatal beatings. I'm a pretty level-headed person. I don't really want to believe in curses, but the freakish deaths happened every year on the day of the Watanagashi, and all of them were related to the dam construction. It was easy to dismiss each of them as coincidences by themselves, but when you put them all together, dismissing all of them as coincidence would then defy logic. I don't believe in curses, but every single year on the day of the Watanagashi, somebody or something makes it happen, without fail. The woman chuckled again as if she picked on what I was thinking. Felt like she was saying, maybe there was. Maybe we frightened him. Stuff like that. Felt embarrassed at being read so easily. I pressed Tomitake to continue, a bit of impatience and irritation in my tone. Then, so someone died the next year, right? Who was at that time? I wonder, who do you think, Keiichi? The hell? The way he said it didn't agree with me. The sarcastic tone ticked me off. Don't avoid the question, I'm serious here. Hey, calm down, Keiichi. I realised when she tried to calm me down that I'd been panicking. We're not trying to avoid the question, Keiichi. It's just, when you say the next year, that's... Lol. That's today. When she hesitated to say it, Tomitake finished for her. I broke into a cold sweat. I really didn't like the direction this was headed. Nobody wants to speak of it, but they all think it's going to happen again tonight. The festival's so cheerful, though. Well, the victim last year, the housewife, she was a non-believer. Turns out she didn't even attend the Watanagashi festival. There's a rumour going around that if you didn't participate in the festival, you would incur Yorishiro-sama's wrath. Didn't you hear anything about this, Keiichi? Never even heard a whisper at that rumour. Then the reason everyone was at the festival was they're afraid of the curse? Figured that must have been the reason. There were a lot more people at the Watanagashi than usual. I guess everyone was just afraid, after all, of Yorishiro-sama's curse. I couldn't utter a single word. In this modern age, where we've made progress in all scientific fields, shedding light on the unknown and misunderstood, where black and white television has been eradicated and we've sent men to the moon, even with all our accomplishments, this can exist in modern society? Tons of invitations were sent out to neighbouring towns' youth groups to help pad the numbers, but after that string of events, few decided to join. Municipal committee members were complaining about how hard it was to gather participants. Also, the police are treating each case as isolated. They don't believe they're connected. Trying to keep it quiet, so it's all plainclothes officers. Finally began to dawn on me why Rena and Emil were reluctant to talk. Nothing happened during this Watanagashi. Everything would have been over with and I'd be none the wiser. And nothing had happened. It would be well. In that case, it would end up just being all crazy talk. I should have just pretended like I knew nothing from the beginning. Then they wouldn't have had to act like nothing happened, and we'd all gotten back to life as usual. Maybe it was just too much for him after all. The woman ran her fingers through her hair as she sighed. No, it wasn't. Not at all. I tried to act strong, but that just served to emphasise how much the information had unsettled me. After seeing how I looked, Tomitake appeared to regret saying anything. Letting out a sigh, he then spoke, forcing an upbeat, awkward demeanour. Keiichi, surely you don't believe in such things as curses? Well, no. The cause of all the crimes were unknown, with the perpetrators and their methods or mysteries, then I think it's the work of a curse. But that's not how things are in reality. The police are investigating the evidence and suspects to uncover the truth. Hearing them say police made me feel a lot better. It was perfect for repelling the word curse. Maybe. First one, the dismemberment, for example. I told you, didn't I? All but one of the perpetrators were arrested. It's only a matter of time for the last one. Motive turned out to have been an argument they had while intoxicated. That's no curse. Don't you agree? That was true. If it didn't happen on the day of Onikakushi, then I wouldn't think it was related to the curse at all. Accidental death of the man who supported the dam is the same. He was in a position that made others hate him. The police made a point of investigating from that angle. They concluded it was an accident, not foul play. But they both happened on the day at the festival, right? Just think about it, Keiichi. Do you think people with a lot of enemies here in Hinamizawa would participate easily in a local festival? It would be especially hard for them to be around during the Watanagashi. They probably left Hinamizawa intentionally around this time of year to travel, don't you think? It wasn't a very clear explanation, but I sort of understood what Tomitake was getting at. So I pressed on earnestly, asking more questions so I can convince myself. Then, what about the priest who died after that? The one with the unknown illness? That also happened on the day of the festival. It's even easier to explain what happened to the Shinto priest. Watanagashi is a really big event that happens once a year. It was probably from all the stress. Or it may have been because of a pre-existing condition. But it was an unknown illness. It's hard to believe something with an unknown cause could exist with all our advances in medicine. Looks, a camera like me in the office. It's just an exaggeration. Rumours making rumours. Anyone would get worked up over having incidents happen 2 years in a row. Sudden death is quite unnatural, though. Of course, the police ordered an autopsy because of the strange way he died, but there wasn't enough for them to open a full investigation, you know? Turns out it was just a sudden death due to illness. Priest's wife committed suicide, correct? What about that? I believe I already explained that. Everyone was shaken up by the incidents happening for a third year. Those who were of strong faith were quick to believe it was the work of the curse. Of course, that concluded the priest's wife. Apparently they found a suicide note that said something like, "My death will quell Oyashiro-sama's anger." Then how about the next incident with the housewife? Happened on the day of Watanagashi too. Perpetrator's already been caught, and the case has been closed. Turns out it was just some nutjob trying to continue the legacy of the Hinamizawa curse. How about the incident next year, or, yeah, this year is the next year. Tomitake gave a hearty laugh. Nothing will happen. Not this year. There was never a curse to begin with. It's just that a group of people believed it was the explanation for a string of coincidences. My internal computer finally got itself back on track. Felt a bit embarrassed by how childish I'd become after losing control and panicking. I can see very clearly now that Keiichi really does love Hinamizawa. Even if Oyashiro-sama's curse actually did exist, Keiichi couldn't bring himself to believe that such a thing existed. Felt very relieved. Should probably just forget everything I heard tonight. I'll greet Rena and me on tomorrow with the same smile as always. Probably also like tonight to end without incident so they can continue on tomorrow without having worried me. Perhaps seeing my change in attitude, the woman had been listening and stretched as she got up from the rock she was sitting on. Well then, I should be getting back. Goodness, I think I may have gone on a bit too long. There were so few people compared to the crowd from before, I could only make a few groups of families enjoying the cool evening air. Looked at my watch, seemed we talked for the better part of an hour. Didn't you come along with your friends, Keiichi? Not going to look for them? Oh, yeah, they might all be looking for me. You're quite the scoundrel, making the girls look for you. See you, Keiichi. Have a nice night. You too, Jiro. I'll see you a bit later. Tomitake seemed to be quite the scoundrel himself, so his name is Jiro. After dusting off her backside, she disappeared into the crowd of people still busy cleaning up the shrine grounds. Keiichi, so sorry. And a place Rena came running over. Could see all the others behind her. Speak of the devil. My bad, Keiichi. We got so caught up in our discussion. I'd completely forgotten about them while caught up in my own conversation, so we were even. So Tomitake was with you. Works out perfectly. We still need to settle the shooting gallery competition. It's alright. So I guess I'm gonna end up dead last? In the end, after my dramatic victory, Rika was the last challenger, but there weren't many targets left. The ones remaining were all tiny and difficult to hit. She did take her time and aim, but all 3 shots completely missed. She was to end up sharing the loser's crown with Tomitake. However, she did a little mew and cry in front of the owner, and he turned to mush instantly. She was given a pack of gum as a consolation prize. Methods were a bit audacious, but she did avoid being the loser rather magnificently, Jesus. Come to think of it, Rika's quite the trickster. I have no idea what Keiichi's talking about. Now then, it's decided that Tomitake is dead last. Everyone cheered and applauded. Tomitake smiled wryly, slightly bewildered. So, Tomitake, you ready? Penalty time. Huh? Oh, I completely forgot about that. You're too naive, Tomitake. This is why our club can never lose. Mion pulled a felt tip marker from her pocket. Oh, it's that. Show him some mercy, Mion. At least use a washable marker. A permanent one is too harsh. Just has to be permanent. Comes off when you do the laundry anyway. Whoa, what is this? Please, take it easy on me. All of us pinned his arms behind his back, and Mion approached him with the marker in hand. And scrip, scrip, scrip. She didn't read in Tomitake's face. She wrote on the shirt he was wearing. Better have your big break this year, Mion. When you took up the marker next. Show me your photos next time, okay? It's a little heartwarming, and I just had to laugh. This is more like a farewell card than a penalty. Oh, I'm not as soft as the rest. Make sure there's a proper penalty. Dead last. Stoko. Try harder next time. Rika. I love Rika's deadpan. Try harder next time. Here you go, Keiichi. Couldn't decide what to write, but based on what kind of penalty this was, probably the most appropriate. Come back and play again, Keiichi. Tomitake was silent the entire time. First he was quite bewildered, but now he had a different look on his face. So I have to wear this all the way back to Tokyo as part of the penalty? Of course, you better wear it all the way home. You could wear it when you come back. It'd be nice. He appeared deeply moved. Embarrassment mixed with the wealth of other emotions made him turn a bright red. Understood. I'll wear this the next time I come here. I promise. Everyone cheered and applauded. It was the finest parting gift possible for a body heading out tonight. Saw the woman who was with Tomitake standing near the festival grounds. Seemed Tomitake noticed it too, and knew it was time to leave. Seems like your guest is waiting. Isn't it about time? Yeah, that's certainly how it seems. Tomitake headed off towards her and seemed to apologise for making her wait. We all shouted stuff at Tomitake. Each time we did, he looked back and waved his hand. Eventually, he faded into the darkness of the night, out of sight. It was quite a casual farewell. This wasn't the first time any of us had seen someone off. They'd done the same thing many times before. He's gone. Well, it's about time we take off too. Rika had to stay behind with the other committee members since they were having a meeting. Stoko was tagging along with her. I headed back home with the usual suspects. The walk back was quite lively, with talk of the day's war stories. Should have done this, should have done that kind of stuff. Rena and I parted ways with Mion, and then it was just the two of us. Then we got to my house, and I parted ways with Rena as well. It's already pretty late. Are you alright by yourself? Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. It's close. I'm going to run too. If you run into some widow, just yell. If someone does come, will you come and save me, maybe? If I hear you. Okay, I'll scream loud enough so you can hear me. Merrily spinning her arms around at high speed, Rena dashed off. She was fine. In that mood, not even an adult could stand against her. Rena's cheerful presence disappeared and it finally became quiet again. The curse that not a single person even whispered about. The more I learned about tonight, the more unsettling it became. It didn't show on any of their faces, but they were probably all quite concerned about it as well. But if nothing happens tonight, then it all ends up just being crazy talk. Nothing will happen. Nothing bad. Nothing at all. What's wrong, Keiichi? Why are you standing in a place like that? Come inside, you'll catch a cold. It was my mum. Did you go, Mum? To the Onikakushi festival? In the end, your father didn't wake up, so I missed it. A little disappointing. Mum stuck her tongue out with a bit of an embarrassed look on her face. Waggles eyebrows. You received a tip. Mr. Hodges falling into terminal illness. Housewife murders. Radio log. From the June 1980 edition. On the afternoon of blah blah at 2 p.m, office employees 1 and 2 of Hanazawa village in Shibon Prefecture disappeared after falling 27 meters from the observatory platform in Shirakawa Prefecture. Police and firefighters searched downstream and discovered the body of blah blah at around 7 p.m. that evening. His wife, blah blah blah. So, say 1 and 2. So they discovered the body of 1. His wife, 2, has yet to be found. Searches run into difficulties due to the effect of Typhoon 3 from the previous day. It appeared a railing on the observatory that the booms leaned on had broken, causing him to fall. The groundskeeping staff was questioned by the police in regards to the deterioration, and a park maintenance was performed properly. From the June 1981 edition. On the afternoon of blah blah, around 10 p.m. in the ex-district of Hinamizawa village in Shishiban Prefecture, Shinto priest of the Furude Shrine passed away after an existing condition he was recovering from suddenly worsened. Parties close to the deceased said he was suffering from anxiety concerning the festival, which is to be held that day. Also, after one's death, his wife too went missing, leaving behind a farewell note. Police and local youth association continued the search. However, given the presence of the farewell message and the fact that the Onikakushi marshes, the Kafuchi marsh is said to be upon this, they've run into difficulties. Wasn't reported in the newspaper. Hint. Maybe. Possible hint. This is Okonomiya Station calling Unit 3. Please respond. This is Unit 3, loud and clear. Backup's heading your way. Hold position until further instructions. Over. Roger, Unit 3, acknowledged. Requesting no headlights. Requesting radio silence. Station, the doctor has arrived. They want to carry it away. What's the order? Over. Acknowledged. Leave it to the doctor. Affirmative. Understood. Ah, backup has arrived. Shouldn't we let them take a photo first? I think the vicar's done for. Because that's not unloving in the slightest. Good morning. Nice job yesterday, Keiichi. You didn't do so badly yourself, Mion. Yesterday was fun. Oh, that's right, Keiichi. Thank you so much for Mr. Bear. I'm glad you like it. Don't use it as a pincushion, though. I wouldn't. Still chatting happily, we entered the classroom, but the moment I stepped into the room, a splashing sound and a nasty sensation. It was a bucket filled to the brim with water, and unfortunately, my foot stepped right into it. Now, how diligent of you to mop the floor this morning. Clomp, 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 whip, whiff. Wah, Keiichi flicked my forehead. You should set a more brutal trap next time. Seeing that, Rena began to swoon as Mion looked on dejectedly. Everything was the same as always. Everybody was there and nothing felt out of place, except for how cold my flat just got all of a sudden. The uncertainties I'd had in the back of my mind since yesterday had vanished. What is it, Keiichi? Didn't get enough sleep, maybe? Maybe? Slept like a log, but if you want, I'll do a reenactment during class. You shouldn't do that. Min alerted us the teacher was coming, so everyone shuffled off to their seats. Good morning, everyone. So yesterday was the festival. Thank you to all the people who stayed until the very end to help clean up. Real slackers, so none of us actually helped clean up. Actually, I had a feeling that the only thing we did was run around the festival and cause a ruckus. Okay then, this time of year, you might see some people from out of town doing interviews about the festival for magazines. Thought it was usual stuff, so I was going to tune it out, then I noticed a different tone in her voice and started paying attention. Maybe ask questions. Please don't say anything silly or something that would be taken in the wrong way. Do you understand? In unison, everyone replied, yes, ma'am. What she said was really vague, but I understood what she was trying to say. After all, this was the 5th year. Probably lots of third-rate reporters spring and hoping something regarding the curse had happened. I did nothing but perpetuate the village's bad image. She was saying, don't spout stupid shit you think is funny. And now I was one of the ones who need to keep their mouth shut. Found it rather cute how I felt a sense of unity from such a trite thing, if I do say so myself. We were summoned to club activities after school. Since everybody was still pretty tired from yesterday, we just spent the day relaxing, but yeah, that wasn't happening. Today, let's play a classic game of deduction. How about this one? Oh, a game from overseas. Looks interesting. The instructions are in English, but the rules don't seem that hard. I won't lose, you hear? I'm not too bad at this game. Seemed that Rena didn't handle this kind of game very well. Wayne, very girl, I can speak. Rules are, person who can match the murder or weapon and scene of the crime wins. There are 3 kinds of cards: compromise your suspects, weapons, and locations. You can see that the names Mion and Rika were written on the suspect cards. Oh, a card with Mayno on it as well. Plenty of different weapons too, like knives, axes, and poisons. Locations are pretty nice too. There's actually a tabletop game called Mysterium, I believe, that is quite like this, which I really want to play at some point. But I don't have any friends to play with. Like the living room, the study, and the courtyard. So basically, you take out one of each of the cards. These are the answer cards. So we shuffle the remaining cards and hand them out. We ask each other about the cards and figure out the right ones. The cards nobody has are the true perpetrators. Then you raise your hand if you know the answer. Game ends and we check if the answer is correct. If you're right, then you get a point. If you're wrong, then you lose a point. Since the game ends even if no one gets it right, all the cards are gathered up and redistributed. You learn as you go. You really have to use your brain. You'll get confused if you don't take notes. So hint to me. I can figure out by playing, so Mion, what's the penalty this time? Everyone directed their attention to Mion. Let's see. We're all still a little tired from yesterday, so maybe we'll take it easy with a gopher penalty. Be asked to rush out and buy stuff for everyone. So just being asked to go buy stuff like drinks and candy, I guess. Sorry. I feel like the penalty today is pretty simple. I wonder, is it really? Is Keiichi thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah, you don't know what you'll have to go buy. I'm betting Mion would send out whoever loses to buy stuff like hemorrhoid cream or happy family planning manual or some other crazy stuff. Cards were lightly shuffled and passed out to each player. Real perpetrator, correct weapon, and scene of murder were taken out, so that means all the cards I have in my hand are innocent cards. Then I'll go first and sign the club president, I guess. Well then, Mion, knife, study. Pick one suspect, weapon, and murder scene, and ask each person. If you have any of those cards, you must say, I have one. However, you don't need to say which one you have. Yeah, I got it. Me too. I have one. Oh my, all of them are here. People answered when she asked if they had Mion, knife, and study. That means that Mion, knife, and study are all in the clear. Got to jot that down. Then I'll go. Rena, axe, lounge. Only 2 people said they had one, so that means 1 out of Rena, axe, and lounge. One of them is correct and is part of the crime? Wait, even if they say have one, they don't have to say how many. It's possible that either Tuck or Rika has 2 of the cards. Well, Keiichi is next. Go ahead. But wait just a little. I'm still sorting things out. Game has me thinking more than I thought. This feels like it's gonna be tough. Rena, knife, garden. Now I have the criminal. What? Already? Here I am spinning around in circles and Mion just now raises a hand. Murderers, Rika? In the infirmary with the poison. Well, Mion drew the cards from the box and he checks to see if her deduction was right. You were right. All I needed was one more hand. Couldn't tell whether it was poison or a pistol. I'd never use a pistol. I like killing them slowly with a poison. Rika said such a hugely terrifying thing with such a sweet little face. Rika's great. Was making a commotion about how they almost had it. Rena and I were left out in the cold though. How did you do, Keiichi? Couldn't get it at all. Don't worry, I had no idea either. How can you both be so unsure? You'll both end up in last place together at this rate. It's even worse. Going off buying something together as a couple? What if we end up having to buy the Happy Family Planning Guide? I can tell from Keiichi's expression he's not very good at this game. What? It's not true? I'll show you the true power of Sherlock Maybara during the next round. My, it sounds just wonderful. I shall give you quite the thrashing. I'm also kind of shitty at these games. Grasped a trick behind the game, but I was still always a step or 2 behind. Saw that Mion was somehow gleaning information while the others were asking their questions. Level of experience was just too much. Only way I could stage a comeback was if I became ruthless. Just out the simple concept of deduction and showed the thought process needed to win. The important thing isn't to find out how the criminal is to win at the game. Eureka. Sorry, I need to go to the bathroom. Take your time and squeeze out a nice one. Mion, that's gross. I had them hold off the game and headed down the hall. I'm with Rena on that one. The air was crisp. Showed just how stagnant the air in the classroom was from my body heat. While the school grounds, some of the classmates were still playing around. Spending some time cooling my head, Rena had made her way over towards me. Keiichi, did you call for me? Yeah, I did. So I got up from my seat, I winked over at Rena. Glad it worked out. Don't want to waste time, so I'll get right to the point. Rena, what's your record at this game we're playing today? She was taken aback after one moment she hesitantly opened her mouth. All losses. Why do you ask, I wonder? Could tell from how present she was playing. The way things are going, I will as well. Can't figure out a way to pull off a last minute comeback on this one. So I guess both of us will be taking that penalty. Hey, don't accept defeat already. How about we win this? Both of us. But how can we? Brought my lips up to Rena's ear. Whisper, whisper, whisper. Huh? Is that allowed? Did you forget, Rena? The second rule of our society. Do everything in your power to obtain victory. Yeah, I'll try my best. Plan of attack was quite rudimentary. Beginning of the game, everyone would be focused on their own hand for a while, taking notes and whatnot. Since our seats were right next to each other, we'd reveal our hands to each other. We did it under the desk, then nobody would know. Begin the game with twice as much info as everyone else. Having this much information would mean to investigate less. With this sort of plan of attack, we start off with a big lead over the other guys. Yeah, with this, we can probably win. Both smirked at each other. If I was the shady businessman, then Rena was the corrupt senator. Haha, pleasure doing business with you. Then let's hurry it back. We'll work as a duo to surprise everyone. Hey now, there's no point if we go back together. It'd be like flat out telling them we made a little arrangement. Oh, sorry. Then what should we do? Go back ahead of me, Rena. I'll take my time coming back after washing my face or something. Okay, got it. Rena turned around and headed back to the classroom. Guess I should wait a bit longer before going back. Went too soon. It seemed like I went to the bathroom. If Mion or one of them suspected something, then there could be problems. They'd figure out sooner or later, because both Rena and I would start winning over and over again. Both Rena and I would have earned enough points to avoid being the losers by the time Mion realised what was happening. Excellent. Not bad at all. Mibara, may I have a moment? Huh? It's the teacher. Man, things were just getting good. What is it? I'm a bit... You have a guest. Please make your way to the entrance. A guest? It's not like I own a hotel. They've been waiting. Please hurry. It was rather unfortunate I'd have someone waiting on me before my big match, but I was more interested in the unexpected guest. Didn't want to waste any time, so I decided to take care of it quickly. Entry was a heavy contrast from the hot sunlight and deep shadows. Waiting there, looking comfortably warm, was a middle-aged man, his tie sloppily loosened and his jacket tucked underneath his arm. You Meibara-san? Keiichi Meibara? There was no question he wasn't a resident of Hinamizawa, and that this was without a doubt the first time he'd met me. Ever since I met Tomitake, I'd been running into so many middle-aged men. That's right. Who might you be? I have the AC on in my car. Let's talk there. It's a bit hot here, don't you think? The man, completely ignoring my question, pointing me over to his car park near the gate and began walking. You've got to be kidding me. I had no intention of going around with some geezer I didn't even know, and he was asking me to get in his car with him? I'm not gonna bite. Come on now. He opened the back door of his car and called me over. I didn't like the sub man, but I wanted to know what this was about, even while knowing that conversations that start out like this have never led to anything good. The inside of his car was pretty cool. Cars with air conditioners were supposed to be a luxury. My dad didn't have one in his car, at least. Please, let me know if it's too cold for you, okay? I have a habit of cranking it all the way up. So what business do you have with me? Out of spite, I decided to ignore his remark the same way he did to me and start my own line of questioning. Pulled out a notepad from his pocket and took out a picture that was stuck between the pages. On it was the face of a pretty goofy-looking guy. If you know anything related to this individual, then please tell me. Who the heck is this? And not even his close friends would be able to recognise who he was from the expression of this picture that looked like it was taken at the DMV. There were scribbles on his shirt done in permanent marker, starting with yours, Meibara, and quite a few of your classmates signed as well. Huh? This is Tomitake? There was no hint of his usual unreliable and easygoing personality in this photo. There's an expressionless, half-asleep face. Then, do you know this woman? Even before seeing it, I had a good idea of who it was. I don't remember her name, but she's some lady who was at Tomitake last night. I don't know what her name was, but I did know she was a resident of Hinamizawa. When was the last time you saw these two? The night of the Onikakushi. We spoke. They seem pretty close, I guess. Anything bother you about them? Anything is fine. Go ahead and say it. Being asked for every little detail is very troubling, honestly. I had a pretty good idea of who this guy was by now. Did something happen to them? No response to my inquiry. Thus I replied to that silence in kind. Pretty sure, no, certain that this guy was a cop. Then why? Why was he asking about Tomitake? Did something happen to him? More importantly, why me? Shouldn't there have been plenty of other people who know more about him than I did? Roar the air conditioner felt unbearably loud. After a long pause, he finally spoke again. You moved here just recently. Isn't that right, Meibara? Are you aware, I wonder, about the stories of Oyashiro-sama? My heart began to race. Pretty terrible at hiding things. It probably showed on my face. Not at all? If you don't, then that's fine. Well, I've heard of it. Tomitake told me, actually. How much do you know about it? Dismemberment killing, the accidental death, the death by illness followed by suicide, and the lady who was beaten to death. The incidents that always happened the day of the Onikakushi, ending in suspicious deaths. I didn't think Tomitake would have kept anything from me. I think that was everything. No, rather, I didn't want to think there was anything more than that. Do you know of that, well, curse, Meibara-san? Feel free to speak openly about it. I don't believe in it. My answer was instant. It wasn't so much that I didn't believe in it as I was on the verge of believing. I wanted to clear away my own doubts. That was the more prominent feeling. Really? Then that's great. Guess you really are one of those city-raised boys. So what if I don't believe? I have friends waiting. So could you get to the point? The man in this picture is dead. My mind went blank. What happened to Tomitake? Seeing that he died last night, that was the night of the Tanagashi. Do you understand the implications behind that, Meibara? Implications? Not any for the cause of his death or the reason behind it. The real problem was that he died on the day that were Tanagashi. Meaning this year, the curse of Oyashiro-sama had. Once again, the death of Jiro Tomitake is still confidential. You can understand why that is, right? I didn't want to understand why. Please tell me. Tell me what happened. It was rather peculiar. Might be a little too graphic for someone born and raised in Hinamizawa. It was a roundabout way of saying it, but it caused me to doubt whether or not I wanted to hear the rest. But only regret forcing myself to learn something I shouldn't. Or at least that's how I figured I would feel if I listened to the rest. One of the patrol cars discovered the body on the way back from my security detail at the festival. It was late, about 5 till midnight. Location was, you know where the road into town becomes paved, right? Down past the slope, on the shoulder, around there. There are a few streetlights on that road. Its pitch-black darkness was only broken by the light of passing cars and the moon. It was a stroke of luck that Tomitake was spotted collapsed on the shoulder of the road. Tomitake was face down, covered in blood. Blood and muck covered the asphalt. I thought it was a hit and run at first, but when the officer checked to see if he was still alive, he quickly noticed something abnormal. His throat had been ripped open. From a knife or something? No. Nails. Nails? As in fingernails? With those... He clawed through... From the coroner's report, it was revealed that it was with his own nails. What does that mean? Basically, it means it wasn't a murder. It was a suicide. Boy, I've got shivers. Tomitake-san thought there was reason to tear open his own throat, as hard as he could with his own nails. Tore through the skin until he started to bleed, and even then, he didn't stop. He continued clawing, with enough intensity that it could have peeled off his nails, still clawing. Still clawing. Then, as his nails reached those vital arteries that you should never damage, he continued clawing. Blood spattered on the ground around him. As he bled, while gasping for breath, he collapsed, his body spasmed, and he died in agony. Thought drugs were to blame, but nothing of that nature was detected. But this was suicide? Never heard of such a thing. That's a natural way of dying. This wasn't a mysterious death, then what was? The way he died. In these 5 years, his death most resembled that of a curse, as if to show both myself and Tomitake, who'd proclaimed there was no such thing as a curse, that we were wrong. There were a few more suspicious details. From his body chemistry, perspiration, epilation, and so on, we concluded that he was in a state of hysteria right before his death. That was a given. It's hard to believe someone could be in a sound state of mind while clawing out their throat. News on his hands matches a discarded piece of lumber found nearby. There are traces of where he stuck trees and the guardrails with it. Tomitake's blood was found all over the place, meaning that while tearing at his own throat, he was swinging around that piece of lumber. There were external injuries which were not self-inflicted, discovered in Tomitake. There's a high probability that Tomitake was assaulted. External injuries suggest there may be multiple suspects. Summarize. Tomitake was surrounded and attacked. While wandering the night roads in a state of panic, after being cornered, he picked up a piece of lumber and tried fighting back. Somewhere in there, he began madly tearing at his own throat, clawing at it. Then he died. The presumed time of death was around 9:23 p.m, meaning it occurred right after you finished talking to Tomitake at the festival. Everyone signed Tomitake's shirt, then parted ways. Right after that? Oh yeah, he should have been with a woman. What about her? She's missing. She hasn't shown up to work and she hasn't returned home either. There is a high probability she was involved in the incident. For a while, I could only gaze off into space. I never would have thought that something unfortunate happening to somebody close to me could affect me this deeply. The time I'd spent with Tomitake was short, but we went to the same festival, spent time together, and took part in the same competition. He was one of us. We've been continuing the investigation on various fronts, but when it comes to Oyashiro-sama's curse, villagers are very cooperative. That I knew well. Would have been none the wiser if not for Tomitake at the outsider telling me. So that's why you came to me? Because I'm not originally from Hinamizawa? You should have been angry that this was the reason you wanted to hear what happened from me. If things go the way they have been, then the conclusion would be that Jiro Tomitake died from Oyashiro-sama's curse. Turned away from me and grazed off into the distance. Night of the Tanagashi. During that sacred ritual, he callously snapped photos, angering Oyashiro-sama. That's how it's going to turn out. There's no way Oyashiro-sama would inflict divine punishment on Tomitake. Tomitake had to have been killed by humans, and a cowardly group, no less. There's no way I'm going to let this end up being the fault of some curse. I think so as well. There's no such thing as divine punishment or curses. Tense mood was cut with a man's hearty laugh. That's how it must be, Meibara. Cooperation from individuals in Hamizawa who don't believe in the curse is indispensable. Understand? Neither Tomitake nor I have believed in curses, but with the way things were going, it would just end up with Tomitake-san's death marking the 5th year, which would mean that Hinamizawa had rejected Tomitake-san. That was something I couldn't allow. Tomitake was one of us. He didn't live in Hinamizawa, but he came every single year. In a sense, he was more of a resident than I was. There was no way that Tomitake could have been cursed by Yashiro. But there's nothing I can do to help. I have no idea what happened that night either. No, if you see or hear something that draws your attention, then that is enough. If I see or hear, he was talking in the future tense. Things or people or rumours, anything is fine. I don't care if they're unfounded. Here, this is my number. If I'm not here, then just leave a message with whoever picks up. He handed me a piece of paper with his number on it, but I hesitated for a second. I took it, then whether I wanted to or not, I'd be mixed knee-deep into this matter. Please help me solve these questions surrounding Tomitake's unfortunate death. That's right. Why was I hesitating? I needed to find the murderer who killed my friend. Snatched up the piece of paper as a satisfied grin spread across his face. Everything we spoke of today is a secret. Please keep this confidential. Understood. From your friends as well, especially from Sonozaki and Furude-san. Please do not inform them. Sonozaki? You mean Mion? Why? You saying they have something to do with the incident? With my friend's names brought up so abruptly and being told to keep it a secret with them, I became rather angry. This is what they call investigative privilege, I suppose. Don't play games with me. Mion is a close friend of mine. I snapped at him, but he didn't seem to especially be offended. Wouldn't mind telling you, but it may just upset you. Say it. He hesitated a little. Turning his gaze to the outside of the car, he began to speak after thinking for a bit. The possibility that a string of incidents happening here in Namizawa are a result of a village conspiracy. There's no way that could be right. Give me a break. First of all, is there any proof of that? No evidence. Also, each of the cases were resolved and none of the perpetrators had any direct connection to the village. How'd you come to that conclusion? Every year, enemies of the village die on the day of the Watanagashi. Don't you think that's enough reason to suspect something? Only the residents of Hinamizawa felt that day that the Watanagashi was sacred. So basically, because incidents happened on that day, it was somehow related to Hinamizawa. First it was the downed construction foreman, then it was a villager that supported it. Those village hold grudge against die one after another from mysterious causes. But what about the shrine? Means different, but in the end the result is the same. Founded unreasonable suspicion. Like the shrine guy, one would presume there'd be no reason to kill him. And the other one, it's like her younger brother was friends with the guy who died. That seems really an odd reason, like, surely there are people who are closer. But it couldn't be just shrugged off. So the victims after that. Here we go. What about the Shinto priest and his wife's death? They weren't enemies of the village. Villagers expected leadership from the Shinto priest at the time of the dam dispute. But he wasn't proactive, so it was a faction of villagers who harboured ill will towards him as a result. It's not like he did anything bad to the village. What about that housewife after that? Did she die just because she was the wife of the brother of a supporter? Such a trivial reason to kill someone. What about Tomitake? He's not affiliated with the dam project at all. Was he killed just because he was an outsider? In the beginning it fell on those related to the dam, but as the years went on, the enemy threshold of the victims would become much lower. Well, that's the scary part. The bar keeps getting lower. What's scary about that? It means it's not just enemies of the village anymore, just being an outsider is reason enough. Then next year's victim, they're just going to be picked out of the village outsider pool? Might be a person that just moved here. What do you mean by... I swallowed my words. Here in Namizawa, the ones who we consider the most outside would be... family. My family. Proof enough of that, wasn't I? Still couldn't really remember the names of the people I passed by. Next victim's my family. Was he saying it was going to be me? But what does that have to do with Mion? Can't go into details, but the Sonozaki family led the dam protests. Quite fervently so. It was also true of Mion Sonozaki herself. She has quite a few misdemeanor and obstruction of public worker offences on her record because of the protests. Mion knew what it meant to fight. This is the first I'd heard of a family leading the protests, though. Well, what does it all mean? Are you saying that Mion's family is involved with a string of incidents? I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying that if it was a conspiracy, then they'd have the highest probability behind it. Not a very clear explanation. Hi, Fastoff! I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good day. I thought I was already following you, but I shall have to, do that now, while I have it on the brain. There we go. I hope you're doing well, though. I hope you're having a good day. Don't know who or how involved anyone is right now. That is exactly why I don't want you to say anything to the villagers. Instead of answering, I gave a bitter expression. Assume that he understood it well enough. Then think of it like this. I don't want to worry the villagers who blindly believe it's the curse. How about that? What do you mean, how about that? How should I know? But the reasoning behind wanting me not to carelessly open my mouth about it wasn't too hard to comprehend. The perpetrator was here, had nothing to do with the curse. He's definitely going to be caught by the police and made to pay for his crimes. None of the villagers should have anything to do with that process. They cause so sensitive about the curse to just worry needlessly. Oh, well, I'm glad it's at least getting better. If it's going from bad to less bad, that's still better, so I'm glad to hear that. And of course, no worries. Just like everyone kept it from me, so I wouldn't worry about it. Is it now my turn to keep it from them, so they don't have to worry? Oh no. Oh, well, I'm glad that you were able to eat something. That's horrible. I hate that. Luckily, knock on wood, I've managed to, like, avoid getting sick yet this flu season, or this, like, illness season, but it's only a matter of time. I'm going to London this weekend, so I have no doubt in my mind that, I'll probably get sick when I get back. It's a train journey and then being in a massive city. When during the week I'm either at home or at work. And I don't really interact with the kids at work that much because I'm in the back office, so it's not like I'm being surrounded by, you know, stranger germs. I was just talking to myself. Unlike me, everyone else has been worrying over these mysterious incidents yearly, and the incident this time probably means a lot more to them. I didn't want to burn them anymore. In the end, everything went as the man had wanted, as insipid as it was, but it couldn't be helped. I understand. I'll keep it to myself. Is that fine, Mr. Oishi from the Okinomiya police station? Yes, it is. It is the very beginning. I'm actually, like, just past halfway the first game, so things have been pretty light-hearted so far. And then, just before you came in, we discovered that a dude we were talking to last night died in a pretty awful way by ripping his own throat out. And we've been asked to keep an eye on things because we were one of the last people to talk to him, except for the lady he was with, who was now missing. So, you can call me Kura if you want. No, Mr. Oishi is fine. The way he said it was unpleasant, yet retained hints of politeness. He was a spitting image of a vulgar police officer, though I've never seen one this bulky before in the cop shows I watch. Taking up too much time. Your friends are waiting, aren't they? Should probably let you get back to them. Door opened with a click and in streamed the oppressive heat, blistering outside of the car. Was it really this hot of a day? It was an almost cruel heat as opposed to the mechanical coolness inside the car. It's cruel, cruel summer. It was as if the land of Honamaza itself suddenly hated me. I felt a little sad as that thought crossed my mind. It literally is as well. Didn't mean to suspect your friends. Please don't misunderstand that. I refrained from telling him that it was too late to say something that self-serving. It's fine if you don't see or hear anything, Mr. Maebara. There's enough proof that the village is not involved. I'll contact you if I see or hear anything, but I'm not a detective. Please don't expect too much from me. I won't. You don't have to become a detective. Just go on living as you have until now. Just let me know if you notice anything. I hastily made my way back to the school building after giving him a quick bow. See you later. Farewell, Maebara. Returned to the school building without looking back. I don't know how much time had passed. I did feel bad for keeping them waiting, but right now there was a lot on my mind. Tomatake's death was hard enough as it was, but to think there was a possibility of a village conspiracy? Well, still, there was also a chance that Mion was involved? Nonsense. Possible. Not Mion, Rena, Toko, or Rika. It was a group that attacked Tomatake. Who could the perpetrators be? Could it be they were hiding here somewhere in Hinamizawa? I didn't know. All I could say for certain was I knew that Mion couldn't be the perpetrator. It's Mion, the perpetrator. Huh? Started to hear Rena's voice. With a rope in the lounge. Nope. No. No. I can do voice acting, I swear. Rena clutched her head while flailing about. Looks like you're just self-destructing over here, wow. Keiichi, you're quite late. As you may well know, I'm seething with anger. Sorry about that. I was called into the staff room, you see. You were reprimanded for bad behaviour? That's a shame. Well, it's been pretty heated over here. Since it's getting pretty late, let's make the next game the last one. Remember right, I had 0 points. Isn't it pretty much decided I'm going to be finishing in last place? Don't worry, Keiichi. I'm at -1 points. The heck? Her score is lower than mine, and I wasn't even playing. This is the final match to decide if the penalty is going to be carried out by Rena alone, or by both Keiichi and Rena. I looked at the old sprite slightly and was like, no, I like these ones a lot better. Do you like the older backgrounds, though? Yeah, right. Just let Rena do the penalty by herself. We made a promise, Keiichi, that we would both win. Waited all the time, you know? Ugh, I'm sorry about that. Okay. Followed my initial plan of showing Rena my cards, but I didn't say who was the criminal and just waited for her to call. I got it. The murderer is me, with the poison at the entrance. Is it? Is it? My, Rena. Quite a quick answer. Another stab in the dark? Oh. Rena's correct. Oh. Then it's decided that Keiichi shall take part in the penalty as well. I just, like... The style of the older sprites doesn't really appeal to me personally. I just prefer the way that these sprites look. So, you know. Hooray! Keiichi, let's both do our best. Yeah, let's do our best. It's my fault, so I have no choice. Then that's the game. It's me, Mion, ranked first, and dead last are Keiichi and Rena. Everyone applauded, and the game ended. Problem now was the penalty. Now then, I rank first, I'll decide what you'll be buying for the gopher penalty. What will she make us buy, I wonder? This black goes to drugstore. That was your aim, wasn't it? Huh? I don't have any business at the drugstore. This old man's already got a list prepared for you on this piece of paper. Whoa, there's a lot written on here. A lot? Damn it, what is she making us buy? 2 blocks of tofu, shampoo and conditioner, apple vinegar and fried tofu? Heck is this? Looks more like a shopping list than a penalty. Mion was certain she was going to win today. Rule 7 of society. You cannot refuse any penalty. Here's the money. Shampoo I usually get is Sweetie Fable. Thanks. This is just your grocery list. Promised myself that if I won next time, I'd make her go buy hemorrhoid cream. There are more than 4 perpetrators? Search notice. What's the achievement for this one? Okay. Boop. Hypovolemic shock induced by clawing out their own throat. Tissue is packed under the nails. Not someone else's nails. It's undoubtedly by the individual's own nails. Shape of the scars also matches. Yeah, I know the immediate cause of death is suicide. I get it. You're saying the cause of death is unnatural, right? It's kind of like when your back itches and you scratch a little too hard and draw blood. Some of Tomitake's fingernails have been pulled out. It's actually quite simple to pull out one's own nails. No thanks. Pain will prevent you completely pulling them out. Also, there were little bruises on Tomitake's body. It's clear from the shape of them that he was assaulted first by someone, or a group of people. According to the toxicology report, deceased was in an extreme state of hysteria right before death. Then he fought back and clawed out his own throat because of how hysterical he'd become. The guys attacking him certainly would have been surprised by that. It's possible that in such an abnormal environment, a person could perform acts that the sane individual couldn't possibly imagine. Of course, those are the very rare cases. I've not seen the anime. I read the manga, but I can't really remember that scene. Although I do know what you're talking about. I can't remember this section of it in the manga, but I do know the scene that you're talking about. I never got around to watching the anime for whatever reason. I think I stopped reading near the end of the manga because it was like being actively translated, and I couldn't keep going. Basically, I lost it. Not even that I lost interest. I'm just not very good at keeping up with things like that. But I know what you're talking about, even though I don't remember it. Actually, Oishi, that wood plank the deceased used as a weapon, they only found sand and the paint from the guardrail on it. What about cloth fibres or skin? Nothing. Deceased didn't strike the assailants. Or it could be they took the plank he was fighting back with. In that case, they wouldn't have gone out of their way to replace it with another. They'd take them all. It's true. Tomotake's pretty built and tanned. He was quite athletic. Hmm? That's right. He was pretty active. Can't imagine what kind of sports he did when he was alive, but I think his physical strength would be on the higher side, meaning he'd be difficult to overpower in a brawl. If a man with such a physique sensed he was in danger and swung the plank around quickly, it's just unthinkable it wouldn't even nick the perpetrator, and his opponent was unarmed. Guy had a wooden plank, so you'd think he would hit him at least once. Yeah, so the manga is my main experience with this series, and even though it's been quite a while since I read it, I have there's a very specific scene, and I think it's in this chapter, but I really cannot remember. But there's a really specific like concept, which even now, all this time later, if I think about it, I start getting really freaked out. But I don't want to mention it in case it's not in this. And also because I know at least one person watching this is not. I know that Lynn, a friend of mine who has been watching, they haven't ever experienced this game before, so I don't want to spoil it. But I believe it is very near the end of the first chunk. It's one of the last scenes, and it scared the shit out of me then, and it still scares me now. To surround and take down someone of his physique. Wonder how many people it would take. You dimwit. You should know better than anyone. Have you forgotten your bad cop days? If it was needed to take down this guy, how many would I need? When a group wants to take down big prey, it's fundamental to attack with numbers. Guess about 4. Even if there was a gap in their strength, they'd manage. Then there were quite a few perpetrators. So any drunken disorderly groups of more than 4 are suspicious? Group of 4 or more? Just, if they had that many, then couldn't they have hidden the body in a less obvious location? Or did he somehow break away from that fatal predicament? Then there'd be no reason to commit suicide. Moreover, I still can't comprehend the irregular way he died. It's full of mysteries. It's under serious consideration on my end too. I'll be examining it as thoroughly as possible, but don't get your hopes up. After all, we've never encountered a death like this before. I'm not hoping for much, but I'm looking forward to the results. Oishi, the chef is calling you. Thanks. See you around. Oishi, I think it's pronounced, not Oishi. Oishi. I don't know though. It's been a long time since I took Japanese. Jiro Tomitake, deceased. Resided in a cheap hotel in a Shishiba in the city. Registered under the name Jiro Tomitake. Pen name. Travels via folding bike. No license. Bike was found 300 meters away, abandoned on the side of a forest path. Present on the day of the festival. Accompanied by the missing Mio Takano. Was seen around 9 PM by police. Location afterwards unknown. Held residence in Hinamzawa for 1 week each season for the last 5 to 6 years. Freelance photographer specialising on wild birds. Check with magazine companies. Nothing suspicious in the film located amongst the articles of the deceased. Wallet was amongst the articles of the deceased. Mere act of violence? From the contents of Wallet, he spent most of his time around Tokyo and Chiba. Ah, thank you. I pronounce it Jesus. I appreciate it. Oishi. On the Sobu National Railway line? No individual matching the name Jiro Tomitake in the residency records of any of the Tokyo wards. Compare teeth to dental records. Centimetry police. Attach a photo. Centimetry police. Contacting magazines regarding Jiro Tomitake. Mio Takano, missing. Nurse at Irie Clinic. Became close to Tomitake through a passion for wild bird photography. Resides in Okinomiya X District XXX. Single. Witnessed accompanying Tomitake on the festival grounds. Currently missing. Abducted. Maybe suspect. An important person of interest. Had no motive to kill the deceased. Squabbled from jealousy. Need to thoroughly investigate their relationship. Place of work, etc. Need to get information from police on scene again. I want some cream puffs. 4 jumbo ones. Oishi. It's also how I feel. I start to write something and at the end I'm just like, man, food would be great. Right. I'm gonna... Oh. The music does not match. I'm going to start this next section, but I'm not going to do the full of chapter 8, because I want to save it for next week. Sleepy. Whoa. That was a really big yawn, Keiichi. I'm usually awake once it's time to eat, but it doesn't look like I can do it today. Was watching TV until late last night. I'm so tired right now. Me after my 7-hour Final Fantasy XIV stream. Was one of those raunchy TV shows you love so much on TV last night? How extremely vile. Don't jump to conclusions. It's perfectly normal for boys. Nothing to be ashamed about. Rika not patting my head only made me feel worse. Rika's my favourite character. I love her. Could you let me just pass out this lunch break? No, seriously. Why, you think I'd just sit here and allow that? I'll get really angry if you disturb me. Really angry. This is just dreadful. Just so sleepy. Slapped my head onto the desk and drifted off into an afternoon nap. Seeing that Stoko had responded, but I pretended not to hear. Cut it out, Stoko. Keiichi fell asleep. Sleeping face. So cute. Can take him home later. Let him be for now. Let's move over there. It'd be rude to Keiichi if we bothered him now. Rika really is a good girl. Let's not wake him up even if the teacher comes back. I take that back. Excuse that I didn't sleep much last night because I was watching TV was a lie. I was in bed at the usual time, but because of the conversation with Oishi-san that afternoon, I didn't get much sleep. I know some of the translations are... My brain is going, should I say, like, kawaii, which is clearly what they're trying to emphasize, or... I don't know. I suppose there really isn't a good, like, English word for the concept of kawaii, like, as a thing, except cute, but just saying it's so cute, C-U-T-E, doesn't really, emphasize. What I'm saying is, translation is difficult, and I'm only used to translating texts that are about 1,000+ years old, so spending the day like this, it's almost as if the incident with Tomatake didn't happen at all. Made me think, was Soichi-san just trying to deceive me? It was probably the truth. One thing was certain, I couldn't speak to anyone about it. He wanted my assistance, but I really didn't know anything about it. If I knew I wasn't going to be of any help, I probably wouldn't have listened in the first place. It ended up with me again, regretting learning something I didn't need to know. If I'd never learned about it, I would, without a doubt, be goofing off the rest of them right now. Big mood. Except nothing this serious, just a work thing, which is frustrating, knowing more than my colleagues and not being able to tell them. I took Japanese for 2 years. I did get a GCSE in it, but that was many years ago. So I don't really know any modern languages fluently, unfortunately. I used to be very good at French, and then because I stopped going so often, I stopped using it as much as I did to keep it up. And I can't really remember much of either of my dead languages because it's been a long time since I've been in school or in university. But I wish I had more languages. I just getting my brain to absorb more knowledge now was like, can't be doing it. Couldn't help but resent Oishi for this. Huh? When was that? Heard he wasn't there the next day. Appears he vanished the night of the Watanagashi. Mion whispered to keep others from listening, but I could hear it clearly. On the other hand, Rena's voice was even harder to pick up. I could still tell she was quite upset. Couldn't be. Are they talking about Tomitake? Nitake? Not sure. It's all I know. Would have to feign ignorance about this topic because I needed to keep it a secret. Rather than waking up and being forced to lie to join the conversation, much easier to just sit here and pretend I was asleep to listen in. Wait, why don't I have to pretend to be asleep while eavesdropping on my friend's conversation? The guilt stung. So, and me, there are others, right? Too? But they don't know if it's from the curse or if this was an Onikakushi. Onikakushi? Onikakushi? To be hidden away by a demon? Is that like... They said the thing, they said the title. What a mysterious phrase. I did, however, get the feeling it meant nothing good. Hell, there was another, right? Right? It's Oyashiro-sama's. Yeah. But this year, at all? Grandma and the maid had talked about it. Seems they talked to the police about it beforehand. They said they'd take care of whatever happens this year without causing a commotion. Then, without us knowing it, someone had... do you mean? Maybe. Next could me... I wonder. Don't worry, you got home safely. But it's not allowed, right? That was a long time ago. Let's stop talking about this. Amidst the uncomfortable mood, both of them went silent. Entirety of the conversation was still a bit unclear, but a few parts caught my attention. First of all, the term Onikakushi. To be demoned away. By the context it was used in, I guess it's someone being spirited away. Suspect that was what it meant, because Tomitake and that woman really bugged me that I don't know her name, vanished after the Watanagashi. Next thing that stuck out was when Rena said, there's another one, right? Mion also said, if it's Oyashiro-sama's, yeah, responding to something. Oyashiro-sama's curse, then there had to be 2 victims. Is that what she meant? So who was this second victim last time? That was the housewife. Who was the other victim at that point? They said they caught the perpetrator, so was it the perpetrator, except he didn't die, he's just punished? Or was it the younger brother who was presumably the emotional victim? Come to think of it, I remember Mion saying at the beginning that they didn't know if it was from the curse or if it was a case of Onikakushi. It seems that the curse and being demoned away are two different things, and they were phenomena that were paired together. Recalled Tomatake's terrible end. It wasn't something as elegant as disappearing. Horrendous end would be best described as cursed. Then the one with him, it means she vanished because she was deemed to... I see! I get it. Oh, okay, so the first time round, somebody got killed and then the perpetrator vanished, or hasn't been found. Then there was the supporter and his wife, and the supporter died and his body was found, but the wife was never found. Then after that, it was the priest who died and his wife committed suicide by walking into the marsh. And then last year, the housewife died, and one presumes the younger brother was the one spirited away, and they were saying he moved, but he demoned away. And then this time, what I do know is there's normally an even number of victims of the curse proper. Last point bothering me was Rena. Rena was frightened. For what reason, I didn't know. Whether she knew that something had made her a potential target for Oyoshiro-sama's curse. If I recall correctly, Oyoshiro-sama should be the guardian deity of Hinamizawa. Isn't a guardian deity supposed to defend the citizens and drive out invaders? If I recall correctly, yesterday Oishi said that originally the targets were enemies of the village, but recently there was no longer any distinction between them or regular outsiders. If that was the case, then I'd think that I'd be the more likely target, having moved here more recently than Rena. From her composure, I confess she was grimly certain that she would be next. She'd probably relay what I heard just now to Oishi-san. Informing the police of what I heard by eavesdropping my friends while pretending to be asleep made me feel terrible. Raised a few questions and left me with a bad taste in my mouth. Would it be better not to seek the answers to those questions? As I continued to learn more and more, I felt like I'd fallen past the point of no return. I would definitely regret this one day. I would definitely regret ever having learned of these events. Teacher approaches. Keiichi, you must awaken. In the distance I could hear the ring of the handbell signalling the start of afternoon classes. I couldn't sleep at all. I hastily opened my eyes and raised my head up. It was in that moment when I leaned against the back of my seat. There was a thumbtack stuck on the back of my chair with tape. Circumstantial evidence was enough. Stoko! Guilty without trial. Capital punishment. Fiercely jumped up from my seat, and I tripped as if my feet were tangled up. Shoelaces had been tied together. Not bad, Stoko. While I was sleeping, you were able to conceal your presence and able to put off this fine piece of work. Teacher came in right as I was able to pull off my shoes and tackle Stoko. Oh, did you not notice that our teacher has arrived, Keiichi? Take your seat. Not carrying on one bit, I made her eat a flick to their forehead. Ah, Keiichi is being mean. Hey, don't pick on the younger kids, Maebara. Apologise to her. Saw Stoko stick her tongue out at me. That little brat. Come on, Maebara. Yeah, I'll apologise. Sorry, Stoko. In any case, I apologise, even if it was in a completely insincere tone of voice. Damn her, I'll remember this. Keiichi, get your revenge at the club meeting. Take your seat. Sat down after Mion told me to. She switched to class representative mode. Sorry for that cough in the middle there. After about 2.5 hours, my throat is abruptly like, that's too much talking now. The boring class was finished. School was finally over for the day. Now then, what should we do for our club today? Personally, I'd like to play that deduction game one more time. I was hardly able to play it last time because of Oishi-san. Rena and I weren't even able to test out a strategy. That's right, today Keiichi and I will be victorious. What should we do? We've never played the same game for 2 days in a row. Why not try asking Mion? Mion looked over to her shoulder as we made eye contact. She slowly tapped her palm with her fist as her face suddenly lit up. Oops, I completely forgot. I need to go help my uncle today. Sorry guys, not today. Helping your uncle? Aren't you a little goody two-shoes? Sorry, really, I really did forget. Well then, sorry guys. This old man is heading back home now. Mion left us with that and rushed off to the exit after snatching up her bag. You see, Mion, she sometimes goes to help at her uncle's shop in town. Ah, I thought she wasn't the type to get caught up in such bothersome stuff. She said that she gets paid for it. It's quite a bit of spending money from what I hear. I see. She was able to pay for that mountain of games with what she saved up from there. Wouldn't you call that a part-time job? Isn't that against school policy? There's a clause that states family businesses are excluded. Is that what she's calling it? So what now? Pass on the club today? So we're done today, I guess. Wouldn't it be fine even without the club president? Let's do this. I opened the club locker and began searching for the deduction game from the ever-growing pile of games. Here it is. Deduction game from yesterday. Man, I had to stop just as I was getting the hang of it. Very least I wanted to replace Tucker, which he did during the afternoon break. I do not mind, but is that fine for Rena and Rika? Keiichi wants so badly, I wouldn't mind playing for a bit. I think it's better if we do it when we have everyone together. When she says it like that... Wanted to go shopping if there wasn't a club meeting today. Going to buy soy sauce and other things. Oh, that's right. Completely forgot. Well, I guess since it's been a while, I should go treasure hunting. What's this now? Everyone was no longer in the mood for club activities. Kept on trying to push the matter. It may make them realise I had a trick up my sleeve. Oh well, I'll give up this time. Man, I really was looking forward to playing it. Shuffling through the cards as if I was still caught up on it. At the next opportunity, I shall give you a sound thrashing. Oh ho ho. Murder is Satoko. Murder weapon is the pistol. It was you, after all. What did you say? Then I'll just... Satoko looked through the cards on the desk and stuck out 3 of them at me. Keiichi, in the lounge, with the rope. I don't need no rope. I'll just strangle you like this. No, Keiichi is such a beast. Phew. Well, I guess it's good that I got that out of my system. Wow, I'll remember this, Keiichi. She was used as a plaything for quite a while. How unfortunate. Oh no. Oh, it's the worst. When I lived with my parents, we were with BT and it would do that all the time. And it was a regular thing. It happened all the time, and though they didn't seem to be able to fix it, it just always seemed to happen that way. And then we swapped to Virgin, it's like alright for ages, but when it's out for like 24 hours. Oh, fingers crossed. Cute. Everyone got ready to go back home. I also helped gather up the scattered cards. Suddenly paused. They were just the suspect cards, but I noticed something strange. Rena, Stoka, Rika, Keiichi, Mion. Satoshi? Not all the cards were made by us, or at least every card besides this one has the name of a club member. Does this mean that Satoshi fellow is a member? Was there someone in the class named Satoshi? Couldn't find anyone named Satoshi on the class roster stuck up on the wall. Keiichi, let's hurry and finish cleaning up. Being rushed by Rena, I finished up quickly. Stoka and Rika had already headed merrily for their lockers, so we were the only ones left in the classroom. Right now, Rena had already gotten her baggage and were ready to leave. Rena, there must be quite a few people who transfer from the school, right? Tried asking Rena in a bit of a roundabout way. She made a troubled face and then answered. Yeah, Hinamizawa is a rural town, right? Some people transfer out every now and then. Then is Satoshi another one of those transferees? Sorry, I don't really know. It was a bit of a pause, but the answer was pretty much immediate. I'm not saying it to be mean, just last year I transferred in, so maybe I just missed him. So I didn't hear much about him. Sorry. If I'm not sure, I am not sure, sorry. Her answer was a lot like when she refused to tell me about the murder at the dam. I was saddened by her denial and felt a little bit of anger. I'm their friend, aren't I? Friends don't keep secret from their friends, do they? Though I do appreciate they kept that upsetting curse thing from me. But if everyone was worried about it, I'd rather be worried with them. That's what it means to be friends, right? For a moment, I wondered just what kind of face I was making then, with these mixed up feelings of sadness and annoyance. Keiichi, you're making a scary face. Why is it? Probably exactly the kind of face Rena said it was. It appeared my grim expression frightened her. Sorry, I was really looking forward to the club today, just feeling down about it. I rustled Rena's hair. Let's go home. Dragging that awkward mood with us, we headed home. Wonder why. Why have I been getting this dumb feeling lately? I didn't know anything. I had nothing to worry about. I was just enjoying my everyday life. My long, outstretched shadow gave no answer to my naive inquiry. Keiichi, are you tired, maybe? Rena timidly questioned the reason behind my mood. I'm sure my expression made the situation even more unsettling. You think so? Yeah, you seem to have been a little out of it ever since this morning. Maybe a cold? Physically, I was pretty sure I was in perfect health. May not seem like it, but I've had perfect attendance since elementary school. Rena continued on since I didn't give her an answer. Could be that the fatigue from moving has finally caught up to you. It's completely different from what you used to live after all. Of course you've gotten tired, since there's so much you need to get used to and remember. Maybe that's it. Yeah, has to be. Rena was also like that at first too. I can tell, you know? You know? Wondered if Rena also experienced a slight bit of alienation last year that I was feeling right now. Thinking so, I felt she was the only one who could understand how I felt. I'd like to hear about when you first came to Hinamzawa. How was it? Feeling I'd been drawn into the conversation, her face suddenly brightened. It was the same as Keiichi. I didn't know the villagers' names at all. Mion and the rest were all very kind, so I wasn't lonely, but I did feel a little out of place. Rena told me all the details of when she'd moved here, all of her first acquaintances and surprises, worries and good times. So, has Toko got you too? Yeah, there was a thumbtack put on my chair. Poke. Then with that, that really takes me back. When you were invited into the club? The first day? Nah, there wasn't a club at the beginning. It formed partway through. One day, she said we should stay after and hold a big game tournament. Couldn't think of it. Mion did say she was the first club president. Now I get it. This is a secret, but Mion used to be really bad at the beginning. She'd never win. Huh? Mion? Really? Can't even imagine that. She had to do most of the penalties that she came up with. Seriously, don't tell. Can't believe Mion was like that. So she gradually transformed into a monster who used any means necessary to win during that time. Mion is at her best when she's fighting dirty. Began making more friends besides Mion after that, but yeah, might have only been since you moved here that I'd finally felt like I'd gotten used to it here. Guess Rena had also been left in the dark about Oyashiro-sama when she just moved here. I guess when they finally told me about Oyashiro-sama, I'd be considered one of them. Wonder when I'll finally be considered one of them. Huh? Did you say something? No, sorry, just talking to myself. Keiichi, you're silly. Rena was poking fun and laughing at me, and I couldn't help but laugh as well. But I suddenly stopped. Then after making up my mind, I spoke. Rena, is there something that everybody's keeping from me? Huh? No, not at all. You're lying, aren't you? Rena suddenly stopped. Her expression was cold and intense. What do you mean by that, Keiichi? Her tone was still the same cheery and light-hearted one as before. You are, aren't you? Keeping something from me. After understanding what I meant, her expression grew even more intense. Seeing that face, I regretted saying something so rash, but she came back at me in a way I didn't expect. Well then, Keiichi, aren't you keeping something from us? Huh? Her tone didn't change, but it was the first time I'd seen this expression from Rena. With how her gaze pierced through me, I couldn't believe this was the same Rena. I just, my soul cringed at the change in artwork. Because I don't have face cam on, you guys can't see this, but I also, as I always do when I'm playing horror games, keep every few minutes looking over my shoulder just to make sure that everything on my flat is as I expect it to be. But this, gosh, that artwork, seriously, it just gave me traumatic flashbacks. Aren't you? Lies or secrets? Aren't you? You are. Secrets. She didn't actually say that part, but she looked as if she did. Incident with Tomitake and how I felt alienated from the group. Even without having to think about it. There were things I knew that I felt guilty about, but I didn't tell everyone about what happened with Tomitake to be considerate. Was keeping it a secret just the same way they didn't tell me about Yoshiro-sama. Then aren't we even? No, I'm not. No lies, nor secrets. Liar. Her answer was instant, and it shook me. Rena stared as if burrowing through me, watching me like a hawk. Why would you say I'm lying? Didn't you say you were called into the teacher's room yesterday during the club meeting, Keiichi? I know. You didn't go to the teacher's room. I swallowed hard. Clearly wasn't a bluff. She knew what happened. Teacher said you had a guest, didn't she? You didn't talk at the entrance. You talked inside of the car near the school gate. With some man we don't know. Rena knew everything. She knew that I was called out by Oishi-san and that I heard about the incident with Tomitake as well. She knew all of it. Exactly who was that man? I don't know him. Why did someone you don't know have business with you? I want to know that myself. And what did you talk about? It was nothing to do with you guys. It was a lie. Lies! Rena's scream echoed through the trees, sending frightened birds into the air. I couldn't exhale the deep breath I'd just taken. No, it was like I wasn't allowed to exhale. It was here I first realised. The person in front of me. She wasn't Rena Ryugu. Then, who was it that was standing before me now? Who'd assumed Rena Ryugu's appearance? I'd held my breath for so long I could feel myself suffocating. Right? And then she made a facial expression that Rena might normally have made. Didn't matter that it was Rena's usual smile. It chilled me to the bone. She drew closer to me. Felt her breath against my face. It wasn't the least bit exciting. Whoever this was with Rena's face was going to chew my nose right off. Coward as I imagined that. Then she smirked as if she was able to see right through me. We also have secrets, just like how Keiichi has secrets. It was Rena's usual smile, but her eyes were still like that of a hawk's. Bringing her face close enough to mine to almost bump on my nose, she kindly persuaded me. I couldn't nod or shake my head. The person standing in front of me. This person who looked like Rena frightened me to my core. I was terrified knowing she could hear the sound of me swallowing nervously. After what felt like an eternity, after a long empty silence, she finally spoke. Let's go. It's getting chilly. It was Rena again. Smiling at me once more, she started walking as if nothing at all had happened. When I was released from her gaze, my legs gave up from under me and I slumped onto the ground. I wasn't able to lift a finger until Rena was out of sight. Who was that? I felt cold. My body was drenched in sweat. I was finally able to form a coherent thought and ask myself once again, who was that person? Who looked like Rena Rugu? And this, I think, is the perfect time to end stream off here. Because that's a really brilliant, unsettling thing to finish on. So I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. I very, very much appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoyed. Exactly, I really like giving myself goosebumps and leaving myself on a cliff's edge. I will actually not be I should have not put this photo up, but I was spacing out earlier and just did it automatically. Not actually be streaming this Saturday because I will be in London, so I'll be seeing my parents. So I will not be around. Exactly, Fastolf. Exactly. And then next time I'll start it up and be like, what was happening? Oh yeah, the terrifying thing that gave me bad flashbacks. That was what was happening. There's no stream on Saturday. Sunday, I may or may not be streaming. It depends how tired I am when I get home, really. But if I am, I will be streaming Destiny 2, where we will be starting the Warmind expansion, which is intriguing and exciting. Then on Tuesday, it'll be Final Fantasy XIV. I've done all of the stuff from 5.2, so it'll be raids and roulettes and all that good stuff. We're back on that grind. So let's get that tone bread or something. I made that joke before and it was just as bad the first time round. And then next Thursday will be more Higurashi, where I'm sure things can only go great. Nothing bad has ever happened. Nothing bad has ever happened in this game. Thank you, I'm excited. Definitely intrigued, shall we say. So, take care everyone, have a wonderful evening, take care of yourselves. I am going to drink an entire glass of water and go to bed because my throat really hurts, and I shall see you guys on Sunday.